It's time for Brewster Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Welcome to Stony Brook Field for the third day in a row. I'm Maura Sheridan alongside Carter Wooddeal. We'll be joined by Aiden Doyle later in the broadcast. A game that could lead to 3 wins in a row for the Whitecaps, the first time they would have done that this season. They're 8-6 on the year going into this game. Their opponent, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks, are the exact opposite of that, 6-8. Jonathan Stever set to take the mound for the Whitecaps. He's pitched 2 games so far in a Whitecaps uniform. Started off his first appearance against Chatham. That was a loss for the Whitecaps, but Stever himself was stellar in that game. No runs allowed. And then a bit of a rough game against Falmouth, a rough start to that. His first inning gave up 4 hits in that one, and then he kind of fell into it and was able to lead his team to a win and actually earn the win in that game in a 7-4 Whitecaps win. On the other side, Brooks Crawford set to start for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. He himself has also pitched in 2 games for the Harbor Hawks. The first was an 0-0 tie against Harwich, so obviously he did not allow a run in that game and only allowed 2 hits. And then the second was against Bourne, a bit of a rough outing for Crawford in that one. 3 innings pitched and 5 runs, 6 hits allowed, and he walked 4 in that game, just 1 strikeout there. So 2 kind of opposite pitchers looking to get back in the swing of things. Both haven't pitched in a while here. Stever, hasn't pitched since Falmouth about 6 days ago, I think, and this is his first start, and I believe it is Crawford's second.
Yeah, Stever's last outing again at Veterans Field against the Chatham Anglers was a terrific performance for him his last time out. Came on. It was a really tough situation for the Whitecaps to have in terms of their pitching staff. If Whitecaps fans will remember, that was the day that Zach Lingenfelter was supposed to start the game, came out, took his warm-up pitches, and wound up feeling something go wrong. Turns out he had an oblique injury, and then he couldn't pitch. So Paulie Milto, another Hoosier, started the game off, got into some trouble early on, wound up surrendering 5 runs, and then Jonathan Stever came on and put together what I think was the best pitching performance by a Whitecap so far this season. 5 1/3 innings pitched, no runs allowed, only 2 hits, didn't walk anybody, and he struck out 8. As you mentioned more in his first outing before that against Falmouth was a little bit more shaky, but managed to settle in that relief role as well. And it'll be interesting to see how he adjusts to towing the rubber as a starter today.
Talking to Coach Jamie Shevchuk, he didn't want Stever to be a starter on this team. He wanted him more in a relief role, but since, as we talked about yesterday a depleted bullpen here for the Whitecaps, but Sam Bordner officially activated today, and our own Aiden Doyle talked to Jamie Shevchuk about the Louisville pitcher.
Thanks, Maura. Yes, indeed, I did talk to Coach Shevchuk about Sam Bordner, who just got here yesterday. The 6'6" right-hander out of Louisville had an excellent year for the Cardinals, including a 0.41 ERA. So that is pretty darn good. And when I was talking to Coach Shevchuk about him, he called him one of the best bullpen arms in the Cape League, despite him not having thrown a pitch yet for Brewster. He views him as a guy who can really be a stopper for this Brewster team, and is going to use him much like Terry Franconia used Andrew Miller last year for the Cleveland Indians. Doesn't really matter what inning he comes in, doesn't matter where in the game. It's just the most high leverage situation that they think they have. They're going to bring Bordner in, and he says even today, he's ready to go. He's here. He's warmed up. He could appear in this game today against the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. And when I asked what situation he can envision him in, he said if we're up by a run, trailing by a run, tie game, again, high leverage situations, that's going to be Sam Bordner's role on this team.
All right, thanks, Aiden. We'll take a quick break for the national anthem, and when we come back, we'll have the starting lineups for you. Stay with us. You're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
Welcome back to Brewster, Massachusetts. I'll get you started on the starting lineups today here in this Brewster Whitecaps versus Hyannis Harbor Hawks matchup. We'll start off with the Harbor Hawks, who are batting first. Reese Hampton will lead off for Hyannis. He'll be playing center field today. Hunter Stovall batting in the 2 spot for the Harbor Hawks. Micah Coffey batting third. Daniel Robinson, the left fielder, in the 4th spot. Batting 5th, Ryan Olenek, the first baseman. And number 30, Rob Newstrom, the right fielder, batting 7th, Ford Proctor, the shortstop. In the 8th spot, Dominic DiCaprio. He's also behind the plate as the catcher today for the Harbor Hawks. And rounding out the Harbor Hawks lineup is Brendan Donovan, and he'll also be the designated hitter for Hyannis. This is a Harbor Hawks team that's been struggling as of late, but what kind of stands out to you in this starting lineup, Carter?
Well, they got a few different guys that they can look at, and a lot of new additions are coming in from the Mississippi State Bulldogs. Of course, they've got plenty of connections with Ron Polk, who works with the team. He was obviously a legendary coach over there at Mississippi State. So they have kind of an influx of talent coming in there from Starkville. That's one thing to look at. And if you're looking at guys who you want to try and check just because of the numbers that they've been able to put up this season. Reese Hampton has been a terrific guy in the leadoff spot. Not necessarily a guy who's going to hit the ball out of the ballpark, but his Twitter handle is @RunReeseRun. And I think it's an appropriate Twitter handle. 5 out of 6 stealing bases this year. So far, he's got a .406 on base percentage to go with that. So he can get on base. He can be a pest once he gets there. It should be something for Stever to keep an eye on.
And now on the Brewster Whitecaps side, the lineup leading off, A.J. Graffinino back in the 1 spot after batting 2 yesterday. He'll also be at short today. Connor Smith in the 2 spot for the Whitecaps, followed by Mickey Gasper batting 3rd. Batting 4th, Zach Gahagan, the UNC Tar Heel. Batting 5th, Hunter Bishop. He'll be out at center field, his usual spot today. Batting 6th, Michael Curry, the designated hitter. 7th, Nick Dunn, the second baseman. 8th, Devin Foyle, the left fielder, and rounding out the Whitecaps lineup is Darius Hill, and he's out in right field today. Now this is a Whitecaps team that has a chance to make it 3 in a row here in this what will be 4 games at Stony Brook Field in a row. So a nice little homestand for the Whitecaps here, but they'll have to get past this Hyannis Harbor Hawks team. The Harbor Hawks are in 4th in the West. Whitecaps are right in the middle in the East Division at 8-6. And as we talked about Reese Hampton, here he comes entering the batter's box for the Harbor Hawks to start out the first inning against Jonathan Stever. Hampton getting set up. The first pitch from Stever on its way, and it's hit high, popped high into center field. Hunter Bishop calling for it and moving in, and he'll make the first out of this inning.
Well, that's just what the doctor ordered for Jonathan Stever. That's kind of his game plan when he's up there at the mound. I know when Aiden was talking to Coach Shevchik, and we've talked with him too about this, he says one thing that Jonathan Stever might do poorly is, ironically, throw too many strikes. He's a guy who pitches to contact, likes to fill up the zone, but that's just what he wants. So that was he got out there to center field mainly because the wind is just rocketing out to center right now, but some soft contact to put away the leadoff hitter.
So the first pitch to Hunter Stovall, the guy batting in the 2 spot today for the Harbor Hawks, is in for strike 1 from Jonathan Stever. It's a 0-1 count. Shows bunt and bunts it right to Stever himself. That one popped right in the air, and Stever able to just crouch down a little bit and make the grab for out number 2. So he's only thrown 3 pitches here, but he already has 2 outs.
And for a Whitecaps team that needs length out of their starters and efficiency, that's certainly a good sign for Jamie Shevchik. Yesterday's game, Will Tribuker took the mound for Brewster, wasn't really able to be very efficient.
The first pitch from Stever to Micah Kofi. It's a fastball. That's in for strike number 1. It's an 0-1 count.
So if Stever's able to fill up the zone and get through guys quickly, it would be great for the Whitecaps team that's very short on pitching right now.
0-1 is low and outside. Fastball that misses. So it's a 1-1 even count to Micah Kofi, the third baseman today for the Harbor Hawks. The 1-1 on its way, and that one a changeup that's misses way outside for ball 2. 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. No score between the Whitecaps and the Harbor Hawks. The 2-1. Swung on and fouled off a fastball that right into the bat boys' hands at the bullpen for the Whitecaps. So the count evens at 2. Covey calling for time. Still in the batter's box, just getting set up, and he'll take his stance, and here comes the pitch from Stever. Hit right to shortstop, AJ Graffinino. Doesn't hit the dirt. He had to crouch down a little bit, but he's able to get out number 3, so just like that, 1-2-3 inning for Jonathan Stever to start out the top of the first. Still no score here in Brewster, Massachusetts. You're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Waddell and Maura Sheridan.
A quick inning of work for Jonathan Stever of the Whitecaps. Retired the side on 3 pop-ups, 1 to center, 1 a bunt that just went right to the pitcher himself, and then 1 that popped up to short. AJ Graffinino making that grab. So now it's the Whitecaps' turn to bat. Brooks Crawford on the mound for the Harbor Hawks, and AJ Graffinino digs in for the Whitecaps. Graffinino at short today. Yesterday he batted in the 2 spot, and Connor Smith was the leadoff hitter for the Whitecaps. And today they're switched again. Jamie Shevchik just trying to see what works and what doesn't for his team. First pitch from Crawford, low and down, a fastball. In for ball 1. It's a 1-0 count to AJ Graffinino. I'm told Graffinino was the cover star of today's Cape Cod Times. Had a feature story on the Whitecaps shortstop. The 1-0 pitch in for another fastball. This one's in for a strike. So it's a 1-1 count to AJ Graffinino. The 1-1. Swung on and hit right to center. Little Reese Hampton had to move a little bit to his right, but he's able to make the grab for out number 1, and we've seen nothing but pop-ups here to start off this first inning from both teams. So that's 1 out and still no score here in Brewster, Mass.
And we saw a lot of fastballs in that at-bat, too, and that's kind of typical as to how Brooks Crawford has tended to approach hitters so far. Fastballs in the low 90s, likes to throw it a lot.
First pitch from Crawford to Connor Smith, in for a strike. Another fastball from Crawford there.
And he's got a slider as well that he can mix in, so that's kind of his bread and butter as a pitcher.
The 1. Low and down, a breaking ball that missed on the lower corner. Got behind the catcher, Dominic DiCaprio. Nobody on, so no issue there. It's a 1-1 count to Connor Smith. The 1-1. Swung on and fouled high. First baseman Olenek moving and able to make the grab. He had to run in about halfway down the first baseline, able to make that grab off a foul. So once again, another pop-up, this time a foul. And there's already 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning for the Brewster Whitecaps.
A nice job by Olenek taking charge there. I'm not sure if the catcher DiCaprio didn't see it or lost it in the sun. That's usually in that area where he wound up grabbing it. It's the catcher's ball, but Olenek called for it and was able to make the play.
Mickey Gasper now enters the batter's box for the Whitecaps. First pitch to Gasper is a break fastball that hits right in the center for strike number 1. It's an 0-1 count to Mickey Gasper, the hero of yesterday's game, had a base-clearing double. Second pitch is low and down. Another fastball from Crawford makes it a 1-1 count. As I mentioned, Gasper able to make it a 6-4 game yesterday and give the Whitecaps a win over the Chatham Anglers. Gasper fouls that one out on the third base line for a 1-2 count.
And now's where we really see what Mickey Gasper is made of when he's behind in 2 strikes. Still has the ability to be very selective while he's being asked to protect the plate.
The 1-2 pitch to Gasper is another fastball on the outside corner. It's a 2-2 even count. Nobody on for Gasper. 2 outs here in the bottom of the first inning. No score. The 2-2 is low and outside, a breaking ball that misses on the right corner. For ball 3, it's a full count to the catcher today for the Whitecaps. The 3-2 swung on and fouled right behind him. So Mickey Gasper stays alive, as I think we say a lot about Gasper.
It's true.
Gasper Player of the Year in the NEC this year out of Bryant University. The 3-2 swung on and grounded right to second baseman Stivall, who throws it to first over to Olenek and gets Gasper out to retire the side. Brooks Crawford, it has a 1-2-3 inning just like Stever, and there's still no score here after 1 inning of play. In Brewster, Mass, you're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Waddiel and Maura Sheridan.
After 1 inning of play, there's no score for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks versus the Brewster Whitecaps here. The Harbor Hawks up to bat. Daniel Robinson, left fielder today, digs in for the Harbor Hawks, who went 1-2-3. He's 4th in the lineup is Robinson. Stever with his first pitch. It's fouled out right behind him for an 0-1 count to Daniel Robinson. Robinson plays at Central Michigan. He's a lefty. Stands at 6'3". The 0-1 pitch to him is, again, fouled out. This one popped up on the left side. Another fastball here from Stever. It's an 0-2 count to Robinson. Nobody on here in the top of the second. A fastball misses for Stever this time for the 1-2 count to Robinson, who has 5 stolen bases this year for the Harbor Hawks. Fastball misses outside to even the count at 2. Robinson patient at the plate here. And the 2-2 comes and is hit right to Nick Dunn, the second baseman, who throws it over to Zach Hagen at first and makes the first out. That's 4 up, 4 down for Stever to start off his time on the mound for the Whitecaps.
Yeah, so far looking pretty in control. That fastball a little wayward in that last at-bat there in a couple of pitches, but so far he's been able to pitch to contact well. We'll see if he can start racking up the Ks like he did in Chatham and start getting some swings and misses from changing speeds. But for now, soft contact will do the trick.
Ryan Olenek hits his first pitch in for a blooper on the left side. Devin Foyle racing to get that one. And Olenek will come all the way to second, so that's a double on the first pitch from Jonathan Stever to Ryan Olenek. That's the first base runner the Harbor Hawks have had today.
That was a good piece of hitting there from Olenek. That pitch looked like to be a little bit in on his hands, but was able to pull in and just yank it over down the left field line. I was talking about soft contact. That was pretty hard hit.
So with a runner on second and 1 out here in the top of the second inning, Rob Newstrom, he'll rope one, this time to the opposite side on right field, and Olenek is coming home, and he'll come home standing up. Newstrom will stop at first, but an RBI single there for the right fielder on his first pitch, so that's 2 hard hit balls to opposite sides of the field here to start out the second inning.
And that's Newstrom's 5th RBI of the season now. Again, a nice piece of hitting, just dunking that one in there to right field. And a couple of pitches that were over the plate to start. I think that Hyannis kind of has the memo about the way Stever pitches. They're being pretty aggressive at the plate so far.
First pitch to Ford Proctor. Gets past Mickey Gasper and is fouled off for an 0-1 count. Runner on first, Rob Newstrom, who just had an RBI single on first. Just 1 out here in the top of the second inning. Breaking ball is in for strike number 2 from Stever, so he's ahead in the count 0-2.
That's kind of the way that Stever will use his breaking stuff. Even when it's an off-speed, a blooper, a 12-6 movement to change of pace, it's still in there for a strike at the knees.
The 0-2 pitch is swung on and fouled behind him, so stays alive does Ford Proctor. Still an 0-2 count. His team just scored, so the Harbor Hawks up 1-0 on the Whitecaps here in the top of the second inning. Stever getting set on the mound, and the 0-2 on its way. Swung on and hit hard. Drops in right in front of Hunter Bishop, who isn't able to bat it down with his glove, and here comes Newstrom coming in to home, and he will get there. So that's 2 runs scored here in the top of the second inning for the Harbor Hawks. Proctor makes it all the way to second for an RBI double.
Yeah, terrific movement there from Proctor. You know, it was a long run for Hunter Bishop. He was playing more toward left center field, it looked like. We got a good look here because we're kind of right down the middle sitting behind home plate. So we had a ton of ground to cover to go out to what was almost straightaway right center. And on top of that, had trouble fielding the baseball once he first got to it, kind of gave the runner Newstrom the kind of the impetus that he needed to come around third. No error on the play because he was hustling the whole way, but that's tough for Hunter Bishop because it's just bad luck, I think.
1 out, and the pitch to Dominic DiCaprio. In for strike number 1, he swung on and missed on that fastball from Stever. It's an 0-1 count. Runner on second for the Harbor Hawks. They lead 2-0. 0-1, swung on and hit hard. That one will drop in for another base hit for the Harbor Hawks, and here comes Proctor, and he'll score standing up again. So that's 3 runs given up by the Whitecaps here with just 1 out in the top of the second inning.
And that's tough. Those are 4 straight pieces of hard contact off of Jonathan Stever on pitches that were in the zone. It sounds like we're going back to what Jamie Shepchick was talking about. Now, you know, to be fair, Jonathan Stever has had a situation like this. We were talking about it at the top of the broadcast. His first ever outing this year in Falmouth gave up 3 hard hit balls and then struck out the next 3 hitters. So he can bounce back.
First pitch to Brendan Donovan in for strike number 1. That one, once again, a fastball from Stever. Runner on first for the Harbor Hawks. 0-1. is low and outside, a breaking ball that misses to make it a 1-1 count. 3 runs scored in this top of the second inning for Hyannis to give them a 3-0 lead over the Whitecaps. The 1-1 to Donovan, a fastball that misses on the outside corner for a 2-1 count. Stever got out his first 4 batters. Now only has 1 out in this top of the second inning. Another fastball to Donovan misses outside for a 3-1 count. Runner on first, just 1 out here. The 3-1 is popped up. Stever is called off from it. Gahagan and Connor Smith collide, but it looks like Gahagan able to make the out. A little bit of a scary play there. We saw 3 guys call it. Stever called it. Gahagan called it. Smith called it all the way from third, but it was right on the first base side for Gahagan, but he'll make the out. But him and Connor Smith, a little bit of a collision. Connor Smith jogging back to third. He seems like he's all right.
Kind of strange because that looked like it was Gahagan's ball. He was calling for it. It was to the right side of the pitcher's mound, and Smith kind of just came charging in there.
So that's 2 outs here in the top of the second inning for the Whitecaps. First pitch to leadoff hitter Reese Hampton is a fastball in for strike number 1. Runner on first for the Harbor Hawks. Dominic DiCaprio on first. Breaking ball in for ball number 1, so that evens the count to 1. Hampton popped up to center in his first at-bat. The 1-1 swung on and fouled to the netting behind him for a 1-2 count to the leadoff hitter and center fielder for the Harbor Hawks today. Hampton out of Charlotte, North Carolina, plays in his hometown at UNC Charlotte. A 49er there, and a rising junior. 1-2. That one's hit right into left field, and it will go foul. Devin Full running and then jogs back, as does Reese Hampton. He'll stay alive here, but the count's 1-2 now. The Whitecaps trail by 3 after giving up 3 runs in this top of the second inning. And Hampton will hit one right up the center field seam and go to first base and move his teammate DiCaprio to second. So still 2 outs, and now runner on first and another runner in scoring position for the Harbor Hawks at second. And here comes Hunter Stovall.
Yeah, that was a nice reaction from Graffinino, the shortstop, moving to his left, had a lot of ground to cover there, but it was just out of his reach as he stuck the glove out for it.
So Hunter Stovall takes the batter's box for the Harbor Hawks. His first pitch is hit right to Zach Gahagan, popped up, and he will make the grab for out number 3, but a rough inning for Jonathan Stever and the Whitecaps. They give up 3 runs. They trail 3-0. Here, entering the bottom of the second inning, you're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Do you know what that sound is? That's your new digital marketing department. And that'll be your new web designer. And that's Haibu, where these experts are joined by many more, from web designers to search marketing specialists who work hard to get your business noticed online and on mobile. Best of all, Haibu can do it all for you, or give you the tools to do it yourself. To find out more, go to haibu.com. That's HIBU.com, or call 855-464-HIBU. Oh, that'll be your next new customer. Haibu, made for business.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Waddiel and Maura Sheridan.
Welcome back to Stony Brook Field. The Harbor Hawks on top of the Whitecaps 3-0 after a big top of the second inning from the Hyannis offense. Now, Brooks Crawford on the mound for the Harbor Hawks, trying to make it a quick inning like we saw him do in the first. It was a 1-2-3 first inning for Brooks Crawford. And now he'll face Zach Gahagan of the Whitecaps, the first baseman today for Brewster. We've seen a couple of guys in that position, Chandler Taylor, Mickey Gasper, Pete Schuler, and now Zach Gahagan, the UNC Tar Heel. But he's in the batter's box now, and the first pitch to him is in for strike number 1, a fastball from Brooks Crawford. So the count's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch is a breaking ball that is painted in the corner there for strike number 2. An 0-2 count to Zach Gahagan. He's only played in 2 games for the Whitecaps, batting .250 in those 2 appearances. Second pitch is a fastball that misses outside to make the count 1-2. The 1-2 is low. Another fastball there from Brooks Crawford. We've seen that a lot from him today. And that evens the count at 2-2. Another ball from Crawford. Gahagan, the leadoff hitter in this inning for the Whitecaps. The 2-2 is outside down in the dirt for ball number 3. It's a 3-2 count to Gahagan.
Good patience from Gahagan after getting froze with that breaking ball to fall behind in the count. Able to lay off those fastballs to run it full.
The 3-2. That one's low in the dirt for a walk to start off the bottom of the second inning for the Whitecaps. Zach Gahagan now at first. And Hunter Bishop batting in the 5 spot today for the Whitecaps will enter, trying to move Gahagan along here.
Yeah, Bishop's kind of bounced around the lineup since he was first introduced. He's been one of the more steady guys defensively out there in center, but Jamie Shevchik bumping him up to 5th for this ball game today.
Crawford with the first pitch to Bishop shows bunt from Hunter Bishop, and he'll kind of fall into that for strike number 1. It's an 0-1 count to the rising sophomore out of Arizona State. Runner on first, nobody out for Hunter Bishop, center fielder for the Whitecaps. The 0-1 is low in the dirt, a breaking ball that misses on the right corner there for ball number 1. Crawford just surrendered his first base runner of the day. Zach Gahagan at first in a walk from Crawford. He'll check up on Gahagan as I said that, but Gahagan didn't have to dive back or anything. Didn't have a big lead there. Still a 1-1 count to Hunter Bishop. Bishop batting just 192 so far this year. He'll swing on his next pitch from Crawford, and that will foul out behind him into the backstop for strike number 2.
Gahagan bluffing a bit over there at first base. Got a couple of yelps from the Harbor Hawks dugout, but not going.
Hunter Bishop getting set up. He'll dig in for the Whitecaps. As I said, a bit of a struggling start for Hunter Bishop. Again, he is very young, only 19, just turned 19 a couple of days ago. And a fastball low and outside for ball 2 to Bishop.
And Gahagan does have some speed to him. He was 6 out of 8 stealing bases this spring for UNC.
The count's 2-2 to Hunter Bishop. Crawford with the release, and that one's popped up foul. Straight behind him over the press box for Bishop, so he'll stay alive. A little bit of a long at-bat here to Hunter Bishop. Both the pitcher and the batter taking their time, getting some practice swings in, making sure the catcher and the pitcher are on the same page. Again, runner at first. Whitecaps trail 3 runs here in the top of the second, and Bishop will hit one right to Proctor, the shortstop, who will throw it to second to get out, at least to get out Gehagen, and then to good for a double play over to Hunter Bishop. That one was a close call. You could hear the oohs and ahs from the crowd, but Bishop is indeed out, so that's a double play there.
Yeah, I did not think they had a chance to get Bishop. Bishop has speed, and it was a soft ground ball to shortstop, but a terrific job by Stovall at second base to turn that.
So just like that, 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning for the Brewster Whitecaps. They're down 3. Nobody on now for designated hitter Michael Curry. Second pitch in, a Curry in for ball 2. He's ahead in the count 2-0. Curry out of Athens, Georgia, goes to Georgia batting .300, and he'll hit one right to the third baseman, Kofi, who just bobbles it a little bit, and then it pops up, and so Curry is able to get to first no problem. I gotta imagine that's gonna be scored an error on Coffee there, so off an error, Michael Curry gets in as first. For the second base runner of the Whitecaps in this game. Gehagen did walk earlier today, but then a ground out by Hunter Bishop led to a double play, so there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the second inning with a runner on first for Nick Dunn. First pitch to Dunn, a fastball. Paints the left corner there for strike number 1 from Crawford. Dunn back at second base for the Whitecaps. The 1, a fastball that just misses for a 1-1 even count. Dunn, a Maryland Terrapin, batting .243 so far this year. Returning Whitecap. The 1-1 pitch is a ball that misses upstairs. Fastball there from Crawford. 2-1 count.
Boy, the wind is really gusting straight out to center field right now. If somebody can get the baseball up, it's going to carry for sure.
The 2-1. Low and just on the outside corner for strike number 2. Dunn doesn't show much emotion there, so his teammates over in the dugout showing some emotion on that call, but Nick Dunn, not one for that. The 2-2 is way outside on a fastball there to make the count full. Crawford battling Nick Dunn, trying to keep this a scoreless game here for the Whitecaps. And he'll walk Nick Dunn on that next pitch. So that's his second walk of this inning. And now a runner on first, a runner on second, and Devin Foyle entering the batter's box. It's Foyle who's the potential tying run here, but there's 2 outs for the Whitecaps.
Yeah, Foyle's still waiting on his first run-driven in of the season, so here's his chance. The Whitecaps, of course, a little lucky to have this inning still be going after the E5 over by Coffee at third. But now a chance for the lefty Foyle.
Devin Foyle out of Kansas gets his first pitch low in the dirt for ball number 1. Foyle playing left field today. He's seen a couple hits out to his side. The Harbor Hawks up 3-0 on the Whitecaps here in the bottom of the second inning. Crawford keeping his eye on Curry there at second. And his second pitch in to Foyle is in for ball number 2. Nick Dunn at first and Michael Curry at second. Not guys for known for stealing bases. And the 2-0 is fouled way on the third base line for strike number 1 to Devin Foyle. It's a 2-1 count. Foyle, another guy struggling for the Whitecaps offensively. Just batting 160. He's played 11 games, though, for the Whitecaps. And he'll hit one right to his spot in left field, and that one will be caught. So 2 runners left on for the Whitecaps to end this second inning here. It's still 3-0. The Harbor Hawks on top of the Whitecaps. You're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
The Harbor Hawks up to bat here to start off the third inning. They just came off of a good second inning. No runs allowed defensively, and 3 runs scored in the top of the second inning off of 5 hits. They did leave 1 on base, but they're up 3-0 here to start off the third inning. Micah Coffey enters the game to bat for the Harbor Hawks, and his second pitch is hit in a pop fly. Infield fly is called off. Connor Smith able to make the grab. This time just Smith alone. No one dared to run over to him. As we remember, him and Gahagan had a bit of a scary collision. The third and first baseman, something you don't see a lot, but this time Connor Smith got the grab himself, and Kofi down to start off the first inning.
Yeah, Connor Smith was calling for that one from the very beginning and was granted his space there that time.
Daniel Robinson, first pitch in for a ball. It's a 1-0 count to Robinson. He grounded out to start out the second inning, and then after that, Harbor Hawks kind of caught fire. The second pitch is hit to Devin Foyle in left field. Foyle had to move a little bit to the right, and he's able to make that play, no problem.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to run into foul territory and then took a couple steps to his left back towards center field. That's got to be the wind playing tricks on that baseball. It's still blowing out to straightaway center right now, but Foyle able to track it down.
So 2 up, 2 down for Jonathan Stever, and here comes Brian Olenek, the guy who kind of ignited that offensive clinic that the Harbor Hawks put on in the second inning. First pitch to Olenek, a fastball that's in for a strike, so it's an 0-1 count. The 0-1 pitch is low and outside for ball number 1. No runners on for Ryan Olenek. 2 outs here. His team on top, 3-0 over the Brewster Whitecaps. And he'll rope one up the left field line. Olenek over to first, making his way to second, no problem. He thought about third, but Foyle got it over to Graffinino to kind of scare Olenek away from third base, but still a standing double for Ryan Olenek. That's the second one today.
Yeah, terrific, and he's got the run scored to go with it as well. That one just laced down the left field line. Stever was able to get some soft contact in that first frame, but since then, the Harbor Hawks have been aggressive at the plate, and they've been able to put the bat squarely on the ball early.
Now Rob Newstrom up to bat for the Harbor Hawks. He's the one that drove Olenek in last time in this very same position with Olenek at second. A fastball to Newstrom is swung on and missed to make it an 0-1 count here with 2 outs in the top of the third inning. The 0-1 swung on again. This one tipped off just a little bit to Mickey Gasper. A fastball fouled out, so it's an 0-2 count to the right fielder of the Harbor Hawks today. Jonathan Stever trying to get out of jam here. Ryan Olenek at second. And Newstrom will hit one high to right field, and running back is Darius Hill, who makes the grab. What a play there from Darius Hill. He kind of ran into the fencing after he got it, put his wheels on there, and made a third out. So the Harbor Hawks leave one on. No runs scored for them in this top of the third inning. It's still 3-0, Hyannis on top of Brewster. You're listening to the Brewster Whitecaps Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Waddiel and Maura Sheridan.
Well, Hyannis has 6 hits on this game. The Whitecaps have none, so it's no surprise they're up 3-0 in the bottom of the third inning here. But it's Brewster's turn to bat, a chance to get back in this game. Darius Hill leading off, the number 9 hitter for the Whitecaps. We just saw him make a pretty fantastic play there in right field. Had a run back and over his shoulder catch, and then ran right into the fencing to end that top of the third inning. First pitch to Hill, a fastball. Misses outside for ball number 1. The 1-0. Swung on and fouled into the netting behind him. Another fastball here from Crawford for strike number 1. So it's a 1-1 even count to the leadoff hitter for the Whitecaps.
How many times has the guy who made the great play in the outfield lead off the next inning, right?
The 1-1. Another fastball in for a ball. Misses on the outside corner. The 2-1 to Darius Hill. The fourth pitch misses upstairs. This one another ball, so it's a 3-1 count. Hill ahead here. Start out this third inning. The Whitecaps down 3-0 at home, Stony Brook Field. And Hill will hit one. This one going foul. Some wheels there from Micah Kofi, and it looks like a little kid just kind of ran on the field, and Kofi had to kind of dodge out of the way for that one. That one did drop foul. Kofi probably had a chance at it, but luckily everyone's safe. That ball did not hit the little kid, but there is no fencing back there, so just almost a big accident. We've seen a couple of those here, but everybody's fine, so it's a 3-2 full count to Darius Hill, and Hill hit one right to Hunter Stavola at second. And that one goes to Olenek at first, and that's out number 1 on a ground out from Darius Hill here in the bottom of the third inning.
And something tells me that's not the only tricky chopper that we're going to see Stovall field over there at second base today. We've seen a couple of interesting bounces here at Stony Brook Field on the infield so far this year, and I'm sure the wind has a lot to do with it right now when it's blowing so hard to center field. It can even affect the way that you're looking at those high choppers.
So A.J. Graffinino, the leadoff hitter today, enters for the Whitecaps with 1 out. First pitch to him misses upstairs for ball number 1. Graffinino popped up to center field in his first at-bat. Second pitch to Graffinino in for a strike. So it's a 1-1 count. The 1-1. Swung on and fouled right to the backstop. A fastball there from Crawford. Graffinino out of Washington Husky, son of Tony Graffinino, former MLB player. The 1-2 pitch is a fastball that just misses for a 2-2 even count here. The 2-2 on its way, and that one is hit high into right field, right to Newstrom, who's able to make the grab for out number 2. And after some long at-bats here from Darius Hill and AJ Graffinino, they go out quickly to make this 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning.
And it looked like Graffinino just got under that baseball a little bit, and I know Aiden and I were talking everybody's ear off last night about Tommy Weber's insistence for the team to try and hit more balls down to become more of a slap hitter mentality.
Connor Smith now takes a strike in his first pitch from Crawford.
And that's kind of the thing that they were looking at in BP, trying to get less of those hits where you wind up getting under it and more kind of driving that to the gap instead.
Nobody on. Connor Smith hits one right to center field that will drop in for the Whitecaps' first hit of the game. Connor Smith, he's been on fire recently. Got on base 4 times yesterday out of 5 attempts, and now he's on base again with 2 outs here in the bottom of the third, and here's Mickey Gasper.
Yeah, and Connor Smith doesn't have an extra base hit so far this season. He's just been hitting a lot of hard hit singles like that one out to center field. Really kind of a prototypical top of the order guy. He sets the table, he's a good base runner. And if he can get on base at the clip that he's doing right now, it can be very valuable for Jamie Shevchik's club.
Mickey Gasper. Before a pitch goes to Gasper, though, Crawford will check up on Smith, as you said. Smith, a good base runner. Had a bit of a lead there at first. Gasper grounded out to second in his first at-bat here in Brewster. First pitch to Gasper is way outside for ball 1. Gasper, as we mentioned before, had a big double yesterday after going 0 for 2. So he's no stranger to turning his game around. The 1-0 is low and outside, and there goes Connor Smith racing to second. That one didn't get past DiCaprio, just kind of bobbled it in his hands, not able to make the throw in time. As you mentioned, Smith has wheels there. So on this Mickey Gasper at bat, Connor Smith able to move into scoring position.
Yeah, that's his 4th stolen base in as many attempts so far this year. Picked a good pitch to run on into the dirt. Nearly a great scoop from DiCaprio, but didn't quite make the transfer when he was popping up from the crouch.
Crawford keeping his eye on Smith. Doesn't make a throw over there, but has his head swiveled all the way around.
And that's a big stolen base because now a runner is in scoring position for Mickey Gasper, who's second in the league in runs driven in.
The 2-0 pitch yet to come. And here it comes. Gasper hits one right to right field, and that one will drop in for a base hit. And Connor Smith making his rounds all the way to home plate, and he'll score for the Whitecaps' first run of the game. They're still trailing the Harbor Hawks, but now it's 3-1 Hyannis. And Mickey Gasper takes first base and gets another RBI.
Yeah, Mickey Gasper does it again. He's closing in on Marty Bikina now. That looks like a gulf between him, Bikina, and the rest of the league for that Falmouth Commodores slugger, but it's now 17 runs driven in for Gasper on the season. By my count, that's 2 away, though maybe Falmouth is putting some runs on the board tonight I haven't seen, but he's getting up there now. Terrific season so far for Mickey.
So Zach Gahagan in for the Whitecaps. Mickey Gasper at first, 2 outs here in the bottom of the third inning. 1 run just came home. Connor Smith able to come home off of a Mickey Gasper base hit. First pitch to Gahagan is outside for ball 1. It's a 1-0 count. Gahagan got on base today with a walk. And the 1-0 is a fastball that misses outside. Once again, Gahagan ahead in the count, 2-0. Gahagan only played in 2 games, a UNC Tar Heel, the 2-0. Is in for a strike, painted on the corner there by Dominic DiCaprio, catcher for the Harbor Hawks. And Jamie Shevchik can't say enough about Gahagan. He loves him. As I mentioned yesterday, you always see him high-fiving his teammates. He'll come out of the dugout. He's really a team player, according to Shevchik. Third pitch to Gahagan is down and out for ball 3. It's a 3-1 count to the first baseman for the Whitecaps today. 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd. Runner on first. The 3-1. That one hits the dirt before it crosses the plate, so that's ball 4. And once again, Gahagan walks, very patient at the plate today. So you got Zach Gahagan at first and Mickey Gasper at second for Hunter Bishop.
Seems like he's right in the fold in that way. You know, it's obviously Zach Gahagan has been down this road before. He's played for Brewster last season, a returner now on this club. But he still hadn't faced live pitching for a good month and a half before he wound up coming back here to Brewster. So having that good plate discipline is a good sign to see, because we were talking about before how guys like the guy stepping up to the plate right now, Hunter Bishop, was having some trouble when he first adjusted to the wood bat, taking too many swings, kind of trying to be too aggressive at the plate, and kind of sacrificing a little bit of that patience that we've seen so far from Gahagan. So I'm sure it's good to see Jamie Shevchik, not just the off-the-field productions for Zach so far this year, but he's been able to drop a couple of walks in this game and drew one in his first appearance as well, if I remember correctly.
Conversation going on at the mound. I believe that's Chad Gasper, the head coach for the Harbor Hawks, talking to Dominic DiCaprio and Brooks Crawford himself. Here comes home plate ump Jeff Kinney. There's going to be, looks like no pitching change, just a bit of a conversation.
I think they're looking at the dirt in front of the pitching rubber. They're gesturing down there anyway.
Yesterday we did see the Whitecaps backup pitchers, or guys that weren't pitching that day, come out and fix it mid-game, so maybe there's a bit of a divot out there. It seems like that's been a problem this year.
Yeah, I remember Chandler Taylor had that big instrument he was out there with. I think it was J.R. McDermott and one other pitcher, just kind of whacking some clay in there. But it looks like they're going to just keep playing.
No pitch to Bishop yet. Runners on first and second. Gahagan at first, Mickey Gasper at second. First pitch to Hunter Bishop is another ball. That one low for ball number 1. Crawford just walked his third batter of the game in Zach Gahagan. Swing and a miss from Hunter Bishop on that fastball from Crawford, even the count to 1-1. So two rising seniors at first and second, and then a rising sophomore. The youngest guy on the team here has a chance to drive in the seniors right now. And he'll hit one right up the seam to first, and that one will get through, and here comes Mickey Gasper home. He'll slide through, and suddenly it's a 1-run game here in Brewster, Mass. And Zach Gahagan's at third now, so the Whitecaps down 3-2 on the Harbor Hawks after a Hunter Bishop gets a single and an RBI.
Yeah, maybe it's that fortunate, was just grounding that one to the right side and just sneaked past the diving second baseman Stovall. Great hustle from Mickey Gasper around third base. Knew it was going to be a tad close at home plate, but wound up sliding in well ahead of the throw.
So runners at the corners for the Whitecaps with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 3rd. 2 runs already have come in here. First pitch from Crawford to Michael Curry is way upstairs for ball 1. Curry, a righty from University of Georgia. Got on an error off of third baseman Kofi, and he'll hit this one that will drop in left field, and Gahagan able to get home no problem. So this game is all of a sudden knotted up here after a 3-run 3rd inning for the Whitecaps, and now Curry at first, and Bishop moves to second, so still a runner in scoring position for Nick Dunn.
This seems kind of similar to the second inning that played 3 runs for Hyannis, just stringing some hits together. Hyannis got 5 hits in 6 hitters in that second inning, and Brewster has reached base 5 times in a row, 4 of those via hit.
First pitch to Nick Dunn is just in the strike zone for strike number 1 on the outside corner. It's an 0-1. Dunn walked in his first at-bat. A ball hits the dirt in his second pitch from Brooks Crawford to Dunn. Before this inning, Crawford hadn't given up a hit to the Whitecaps, and now 3 runs have come in for Brewster to tie this game up here in the bottom of the third. Dunn will foul off the next pitch right to the netting behind him for strike number 2, so it's a 1-2 to Nick Dunn. Waiting on the 1-2 from Crawford, and here it comes. That one hit right to third, and Kofi able to step on third because Bishop was on his way there. So that ends the third inning, but the Brewster Whitecaps score 3 runs to tie this game up. It's 3-3. You're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan. Whitecaps baseball indeed. We are in the top of the 4th inning, and the Whitecaps have tied the score at 3 via a 4-hit third inning. RBI singles from Gasper, Bishop, and Curry did the trick for Brewster, and we have a whole new ball game as we get ready to start the top of the 4th. Due up for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks in the top of the 4th inning will be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters. That's Ford Proctor, Dominic DiCaprio, and Brendan Donovan to be specific. And Proctor will dig in from the left side against the righty Jonathan Stever, who's out for his 4th inning of work here. Stever kicks and deals and misses low outside to make the count 1 ball and no strikes on Proctor. Proctor had an RBI double in that 3rd inning. Wound up coming around to score as well. Here comes the 0-1 in there for a strikeoff on the inside corner to make the count 1-1 on Proctor. It was RBI number 7 on the season for him. And Proctor hits one high in the air, foul toward the left side. So quickly behind him, a count 1 ball and 2 strikes now. One, two, the count to the lefty. Here comes the pitch from the right-hander Stever, and it's hit high in the air into center field. Bishop is on his horse, moving back toward the wall. The wind is blowing hard out there. Bishop still moving back, and he drops the ball at the last moment. It's going to be a double as Proctor gets into second base. Looked like Bishop might have had that knocked off of his glove, and one hop the wall out there in center field, so Proctor reaches second on what has been scored a double. And there's a leadoff runner in scoring position for the Harbor Hawks here in the top of the 4th.
Yeah, what it looked like to me is that it almost got caught in Hunter Bishop's elbow, and then he kind of just wasn't able to move it over and dropped it on that one. Just kind of an odd play that you don't see much, and just a rough one there for Hunter Bishop.
Yeah, this wind is going to be a big story all game. It's still gusting straight out to center field. That looked like it was tough for Bishop to track down because of that. The first pitch is low to Dominic DiCaprio, the catcher out of Rice University. A rising junior originally from Coral Springs, Florida. Proctor at second. 1-0 the count to the right-handed hitter against the righty Stever. Here's the pitch. Misses down and away. Nice block behind the plate from Mickey Gasper. who is back in the catching position for Brewster tonight, was over at first base for the Whitecaps past couple of games, yielding to Justin Coons behind the plate, but Coons taking the day off. Here comes the 2-0. Nope, he's going to step off the mound real quick. So we'll do it again. Count is 2 balls and no strikes on DiCaprio. DiCaprio coming off a spring where he hit .366 for the Owls of Rice. 2-0. Swing and a miss on a pitch down and away. Nicely done there by Stever to make the count 2-1. We've been talking about Stever's tendency to just pound the zone for strikes, which can sometimes lead to a bunch of hard contact like we saw in that second inning. That time, it looked like he hit the target down and away. 2-1 the count. Here's the pitch. It's hit high in the air, foul toward the right side. And that evens the count at 2-2, as it looked like Gasper was setting up down and away to the righty again on that one. So 2 balls and 2 strikes on DiCaprio. Stever is ready to go. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. It's fouled back to the screen, and we'll do it again. Stever, one of those guys that kind of just keeps his routine going with such a steady hand in that last outing in Chatham when he came on to relieve Paulie Milto in a game where that really is still kind of feeling the reverberations throughout the Brewster pitching staff after Lingenfelter was injured. The 2-2 pitch in there, called strike 3 at the knees. So Stever rebounds from giving up the leadoff double to get a called strike 3. That's the first strikeout that we have seen from either team so far in this game. Gets Dominic DiCaprio looking for the first out. And that'll bring up the 9-hitter, Brendan Donovan out of South Alabama, who hit a pop fly to the right side his first time up. The pitch to the lefty is fouled back to the screen. Donovan, a rising junior out of Enterprise High School in Enterprise, Alabama, though he was originally born in Wurzburg, Germany. Runner on second with 1 out. We're tied at 3, top 4, the pitch. Swing and a miss. Helm was in the zone, but changing speeds on him there with Stever. That's kind of his bread and butter when he wants to get swings and misses. That was what was working well his last time out against Chatham. And now ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes on Donovan. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's hit hard and into center field for a base hit. Had to hesitate a bit at second base, did Proctor. He's heading around third anyway. Here comes the throw, and it will not be in time as Proctor is able to hustle in. It's an RBI single for Brendan Donovan, his 4th RBI of the season, and the Harbor Hawks are back on top. It's 4-3.
Well, that one was hit hard. It almost hit Billy McCullum, the second base ump. He had to dive out of the way. That's a nice piece of hitting here. We've seen a lot of hard-hit balls from these Hyannis Harbor Hawks.
So Donovan reaches on the RBI single. And now it's time for the top of the Hyannis order. And the first pitch is a hard ground ball off the bat of Hampton over to the second baseman, Dunn, who flips to first for the out. Advancing to second on the play is Donovan. And there are 2 gone now in the top of inning number 4. With the score 4-3 Hyannis here. And now it's Hunter Stovall's turn, the 2-hitter for the Harbor Hawks. So far today, Stovall has a couple of pop-outs, though one was on a bunt attempt. The pitch misses down and away. Nice block from Gasper to stop that one. On second is Donovan. There are 2 gone. With Stovall at the plate, a right-handed hitter. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. It's hit high in the air into shallow center field. Coming in is the center fielder Bishop. Looks like he's under it, and he will make the catch to retire his side. So the Harbor Hawks, about as quickly as they took the lead, get it right back here in this 4th inning. They get 1 run on a pair of hits, and they leave 1 runner on. We are through 3.5 innings of play. It's 4-3 Harbor Hawks. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Waddiel and Maura Sheridan. Back in Brewster, Stony Brook Field, the Whitecaps trailing 4-3 as we enter the bottom of the fourth inning. For Brewster, it'll be Foyle, Hill, and Graffinino. Those are the 8, 9, and 1 hitters on Jamie Shevchuk's lineup card today, who will lead things off. And the lefty Foyle, or a switch hitter rather, batting from the left side, takes a pitch outside to make the count 1-0. Brooks Crawford is back on the mound for the Harbor Hawks. Back for his fourth inning of work, and the righty deals in there for a strike at the knees. Nicely located there from Crawford to make the count 1-1 strike on Foyle, who hit a fly ball to left field his first time, 1-1. It's a ground ball into center field for a base hit. So Foyle will reach for the first time in this ball game. The Whitecaps have a leadoff single. If you want to come back and tie the game just after you've given up the lead, that's the right way to do it, as Foyle is aboard. And now it'll be Darius Hill's turn. But before that, we'll have a quick visit to the mound, as it looks like Ray Korn, the pitching coach for Hyannis, is going to... No, that's Gassman. He's taking the ball. So that'll be it for Brooks Crawford, who comes in and faces just one batter in this fourth inning and is relieved. They're going to bring on, it looks like, Chase Haney, the Florida State product out of Winter Garden, Florida, to replace him. So we will step aside for a minute. New pitcher for Hyannis here in the bottom of the fourth. The score is 4-3 Harbor Hawks. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Back at Stony Brook Field, and Chase Haney has completed his warm-up pitches. And now Darius Hill will dig in for real. With Devin Foyle aboard at first base, we're in the bottom of the fourth inning. The Whitecaps trailing the Harbor Hawks 4-3 here at Stony Brook. And Haney is on. Just the one appearance so far this season for Haney in a Harbor Hawks uniform, as the side armor deals in there for a strike on the outside corner to Hill. Haney, a right-hander, up against the lefty Darius Hill right now. That one appearance was a couple of days ago, back on Wednesday against the Bourne Braves. In Bourne, went 2 1/3. Did not allow a hit or a walk in that appearance and struck out a pair. Faced 8 hitters in that outing over 2 1/3. So just the one base runner. 0-1 is the count. Here comes the pitch. It's a ground ball foul behind the plate. That makes the count 0-2 quickly now on Darius Hill. Hill, his first time out, grounded out to the right side of second base. Behind him to count 0-2. Brewster looking to fire right back after giving up a run in the top of the fourth inning to give Hyannis their 4-3 advantage. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. That one's hit high in the air, left center field. Moving to his left is the left fielder Robinson, but it drops in front of him for a base hit. Nice job by Darius Hill to go out and get that one. It looked like Haney was trying to backdoor him on the outside part of the plate, but Hill lifts that one up the opposite way, and there are 2 on for Brewster.
Well, those are 2 big hits in terms of just getting people's confidence up too. Those are the two guys in the Brewster order that have the worst batting average on the team. So to get Foyle, who's batting 160, and then Hill, who's batting 150 base hits to start out the inning, that's something that's got to be making Jamie Shevchuk happy back in the dugout.
And now it's the top of the order, and A.J. Graffinino with 2 on and nobody out. The pitch misses low to make the count 1-0. So a couple of good lateral movement on the first few pitches from Haney since he's entered this ball game. A rising junior out of Winter Garden, Florida. Holds the set now with runners on first and second and delivers the 1-0 pitch. It's hit hard into right field. That one's going to drop in there for a base hit. Heading around third and being held up at third by Ryan Smythe over there is Foyle. So it's just going to be a hard single for Graffinino, and the bases are loaded for Brewster with nobody out and the 2, 3, and 4 hitters coming up. This is one of those situations that Coach Jamie Shevchuk pointed to at the beginning of the season when Brewster was struggling to get efficient hits and drive in runs. We've seen in the past couple of games for Brewster, both wins here over the Chatham Anglers, where they've been able to be more efficient at the plate. Wound up scoring a combined 17 runs in those 2 ball games. And here's Connor Smith, who is 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored in this ball game. The pitch to the right-hander just missed off the inside corner. Trying to sneak that one in there was Haney. Makes the count 1-0. Smith digging in from the right side. Mickey Gasper is waiting on deck for Brewster. 1-0 pitch on the way. It's a broken back ground ball back to the pitcher, Haney, who throws to home plate for the fourth. They go to first base, and it is in time for the double play. As easy as 1, 2, 3 for the Harbor Hawks. The pitcher's best friend coming in there. They get the force at home and the out at first, so it's now second and third and 2 outs for Mickey Gasper here.
Well, that's just a rough hit there by Connor Smith right into the pitcher's glove, and then Foyle did his best, but there was no way he could get home. This has kind of just been what's happened a lot to the Whitecaps. They get in these situations, it seems like they have the upper hand, and then all of a sudden, you know, a quick double play or something like that, and it's 2 outs.
The one guy who's been able to get the consistent hits is Gasper, who now digs in from the left side, the switch hitter batting against the righty side armor Chase Haney. Second and third, 2 men out. The pitch misses outside to make the count 1 ball and no strikes on Gasper, who already has an RBI to his credit today. Had a single in the 3rd inning that drove in Brewster's first run of the ball game. Whitecaps were trailing 3-0 entering that frame, put up a 3 spot to tie the score, and then gave up a run in the top of the 4th to give the lead right back. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball dropped in there for a strike. 1-1 is the count, and that's where we stand. It's 4-3 Hyannis. Here in the bottom of inning number 4, a shutdown inning for Haney and the Harbor Hawks. 1-1 pitch on the way to Gasper. The breaking ball, but left that one up to make the count 2 balls and 1 strike. Haney came on after the starter Crawford faced just 1 batter in this frame, and then was relieved of his duties by Chad Gassman, the manager of the Harbor Hawks. 2-1 is the count. And here comes the pitch. That one sneaks in there for a strike on the outside corner. Excellent lateral movement there from the side armor. Backdoor is Mickey Gasper, who takes it. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and 2 on. With 2 in scoring position for the Whitecaps. Gasper digging in. We're only in the 4th inning, but this feels like a big pitch in this game. Here comes the 2-2. It's hit hard into left field. It's right into the shortstop's glove as Proctor gloves it to retire of his side. That one looked like it had a date with the left center field gap, but Proctor was right where he needed to be, and Gasper is retired for the final out of the 4th inning. So Brewster does not score here in the bottom of the 4th. They get 3 hits, and thanks to that double play, they only leave 2 runners on. We're through 4 innings. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. It's 4-3 Harbor Hawks. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan. Micah Coffey will lead things off to start the fifth inning for the Harbor Hawks. His team ahead 4-3 here at Stony Brook Field in Brewster. Thank you so much for joining us. The first pitch to the lefty is hit high in the air out to right field, heading down the line, and that one is gonna be out of here. A fair ball and a home run sneaking inside the right field foul ball on the first pitch of the fifth inning from Micah Coffey, his first home run of the Cape League season, and just like that, the Harbor Hawks double their lead. It's 5-3 now.
Well, I was about to say that Micah Coffey is somebody that seems like Stever hasn't had issues with. He hasn't had issues with the 1-2-3 guys prior to that, and now it's just the 1-2. Basically everybody getting a hit. And then Coffey, that one just snuck in though. Very close to.
Daniel Robinson takes a pitch in there for strike one to start his at-bat. That was one where the right fielder Darius Hill just took a look at it. The only question was whether it was fair or foul, and it was fair. The 0-1 pitch, a breaking ball in the dirt that swung on and missed by Robinson to make the count 0-2 on him. Robinson, as you mentioned, Maura, is 0-for-3 in this game, or 0-for-2, excuse me, here in his third at-bat. A ground ball and a fly ball to his name. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. That's a fastball that misses low. And the count is 1-2 strikes on Robinson, who hails from Central Michigan, a Chippewa. Here comes the 1-2. It's a high drive into right field. Moving back is Hill. He's heading back to the track. He's looking up, and that ball is gone. Another home run to straightaway right field. Back-to-back dingers for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. That's Robinson's first of the season, and it's now 6-3 Hyannis.
Well, we saw this happen against Falmouth the other day. Back-to-back home runs given up in that game also from Bakina and Davidson, and now the same thing happening here to make this a 3-run game, something that the Whitecaps just got back into this game, and now they're going to have to fight back again. It looks like there's going to be a pitching change.
Yes, Jamie Shevchik says that'll be it for Jonathan Stever, who exits this game after 4+ innings, giving up 6 runs on 10 hits. Just not his day today. Left a lot of pitches over the strike zone, and they will bring on a new hurler to take his place. It looks like that's Ryan Avedano for Brewster, who will come on. We'll take a quick break while he warms up. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. It's 6-3 Harbor Hawks top 5. Back at Stony Brook Field, neither starter in this game really able to go too late, as Stever's final line is as follows. 4+ innings pitch, gave up the 2 home runs in the 5th inning, 10 hits allowed, 6 runs all earned, no walks, and 1 strikeout for Stever. And it is Ryan Avadano, the lefty, to come on in the first pitch swinging, and a ball in the dirt for the count 0-1. Swung on there by Ryan Olenek, who has a pair of doubles so far to his credit in this game for the Harbor Hawks. And the 0-1 to the righty, swing and a miss. As Avadano able to pound that one in there to make the count 0-2. The numbers so far this season for Ryan Avadano. This is his 4th appearance. He's got a 4.05 ERA for Brewster so far on the Cape. And a bit of a stoppage in play here as they let some music go on the PA. Avadano's got 6 2/3 innings to his credit, 11 hits allowed. He's walked 2 and struck out 7. And we're ready to go again. The 0-2 pitch to the righty is hit on the ground to the right side, fielded by the first baseman Gehagen, who charges to the bag himself and wins the foot race just barely as Olenek was hustling down the line, but Gehagen is able to corral it and get over there. It's a 3 unassisted, and there's 1 gone here in the top of the 5th.
Well, that's a huge out to start out for Ryan Avadano, a guy that's doubled twice today. Can't let him get on base again because he's come home, too. So, a huge out to start out this time on the mound for Ryan Avadano.
So here comes Robert Newstrom, who's a left-handed hitter, and the pitch is up and in to make the count 1-0, excuse me, on Newstrom. Newstrom has hit the ball hard both times so far today. Had an RBI single in the 2nd and hit one out to right field that required a nice running catch from Hill to retire him. 0-1 pitch is in there for a strike on the outside corner down to the knees to make the count 1 ball and 1 strike on Newstrom. The outfielder out of Iowa, originally hails from Sioux City in Iowa. The 1-1 pitch. Checked his swing on a pitch that was low, and they checked to see if he went, and they say no, he did not, says Billy McCullum over at third base. So the count is 2 balls and 1 strike now on Newstrom. Newstrom did that little move where you just hold the bat out to kind of show to the this is as far as I went. 2-1 pitch, swing and a miss way out in front of that off-speed pitch from Avadano, and that evens the count up. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Seems like each game that we're seeing here on the Cape, we've seen a few Georgia Bulldogs. There are 9 of them on the Cape, including Avadano. The 2-2 pitch is a ground ball to the right side. Moving to his left is the second baseman, Dunn, and it's out of his reach and into right field for a base hit. Dunn did a valiant effort, wound up with a face full of grass out there on the lip of the outfield grass on the right side, but it trickles into right field, so a little seeing eye single for Newstrom, and he's aboard with his 2nd hit of the game. So now it's Ford Proctor's turn, another Rice University Owl, with Newstrom over at first base, and 1 out. The score is Hyannis 6 and Brewster 3, a pair of homers in this inning, back-to-back from Coffey and Robinson, extending that Harbor Hawks lead. The 6-3 score line, it's hit on the ground, right side, base hit. So first pitch swinging, and Ford Proctor is on with another base hit in the right field. Everything's going out to right field in this inning. We saw both homers go out to right, and now a couple of ground balls into right field for singles. So first and second with still just 1 out for the Harbor Hawks here in the top of the 5th inning.
Number 9 from Rice University, the catcher, Dominic.
And here comes Dominic DiCaprio as they're back-to-back with the Rice products in the lineup on Chad Gassman's lineup card. First and second and 1 out. Neither of the runners with a stolen base to their credit so far this season. Newstrom at second and Proctor is at first base. DiCaprio, the catcher, is batting from the right side against the lefty Avadano, and the pitch runs in on a no. It's in there for a strike on the inside corner. DiCaprio is really playing up close to home plate, kind of leaned out of the way of that pitch. But home plate ump Jeff Kinney says it painted the corner on the inside part of the plate. Then the count is 0-1. Lefty deals. It's hit on the ground and is through the middle, fielded to moving to his right by Dunn. Flips to second for 1 onto first base, and it's a throw that's offline, so safe at first base is DiCaprio as it pulled the first baseman Gahane off the bag. Still a nice play from Dunn to get the scoop over and flip it to Graffinino for the force out. So Ford Proctor is cut out of the equation. DiCaprio is at first, moving to third is Newstrom, and there are runners at the corners and 2 out for the 9-hitter Brendan Donovan.
Yeah, Dunn had to do almost like a complete 360 there to make that throw over to Gehagen. I think just the momentum pushed that throw a little outside so Gehagen couldn't make the catch. with his foot still on the bag.
And here is Brendan Donovan hitting from the left side. Has a pop fly and an RBI single today. Lefty to lefty. Here comes the first pitch from Avenano. It's hit hard, and it's right to the first baseman, Gahagan, who catches it and will step on first for good measure. Doesn't matter, as that's the final out of the top of the 5th inning. That was a real hot shot down the line, but Gahagan was right where he needed to be. So that retires the side in the 5th inning. The big blows in this inning, a pair of home runs by Coffey and Robinson. They account for the 2 runs in this 5th for Hyannis. They also get 2 hits and may leave 2 runners on base. We're through 4.5 innings of play here. It's 6-3 Harbor Hawks. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan. The Beach House Grill at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa is the perfect spot for a seaside lunch or evening clam bake, a proud member of leading hotels of the world. We're back with baseball in the bottom of the 5th inning. It's now 6-3 Harbor Hawks as Gahagan will lead things off for Brewster, and the righty takes a fastball down and in from Chase Haney. So he is ahead in the count, 1 ball and no strikes to begin his at-bat. Brewster surrendering a couple of home runs in that top of the 5th from Coffey and Robinson back-to-back to fall behind by this score. 1-0 pitches a chopper to shortstop, fielded over there, moving by Proctor, moving to his left, and he throws it across for the out. So Gahagan's retired quickly, 6-3, and there's 1 gone in the bottom of the 5th inning. So now Hunter Bishop will dig in from the left side for Brewster. Bullpen right now pretty calm out there for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Haney came in to relieve the starter Brooks Crawford. Just 1 batter into the 4th inning. Crawford came in, gave up a single, and then was yanked. The pitch to Bishop paints the outside corner on a fastball to make the count 0-1. Bishop grounded into a double play to shortstop in the 2nd and then had a nice RBI single in the 3rd. That at the time made it 3-2. Brewster would tie the game in that inning but give up the lead the following frame. Bishop swings and misses on an off-speed pitch to make the count 0-2. Really took a rip at that one and now falls behind in the count. Bishop, the ASU product. That mainstay in center field for the Whitecaps since he's arrived in camp. 0-2. Just misses outside. Out of the right hand of a sidewinder, Haney. Haney's one of those fun pitchers to watch. Not just because of his sidearm motion, but because of the English that he can put on his pitches. That outside corner to lefties, inside corner to righties. He keeps trying to paint that corner with some lateral movement. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. He tried again, and he hits it. A chopper to second base, fielded by the second baseman Stovall. Throws across in time for the out. That was not the fastest chopper in the whole world. Took a couple of high bounces, and Stovall had to move to his right to field it. So all in all, a nice throw to nab Hunter Bishop, who was again hustling down the line. And so there are 2 gone quickly here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And now Michael Curry will dig in for Brewster from the right side. Curry back in the DH role for the Whitecaps in this ball game. And he takes a pitch in there for a strike to make it 0-1. Curry reached on an error in a second and had an RBI single to tie the score in the third inning. Another clutch hit for him. Seems like he's had a heap and helping of those so far this season as he calls for time. Chase Haney working pretty quickly here. Curry wanted to take his time at the plate. And now he's ready to go. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. That one's running there for a strike. Some more movement, and Curry has a couple of words for home plate umpire Jeff Kinney. Didn't think that one caught the corner. Makes the count 0-2, regardless of what the Georgia Bulldog thinks. 0-2 is the count. Readying himself is Haney and deals. It's a soft ground ball, broke his bat, grounded toward the left side, scooped up by the third baseman Coffey, throws to first base in time to retire his side. So a couple of nice pieces of infield work. All three infielders getting some action there from ground balls as the shortstop Proctor, then Stovall gets one, and Coffey gets one to finish things off. So 3 ground balls for Brewster. They go down in order in the bottom of the 5th inning. We're through 5. It's 6-3 Hyannis. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan. Earn a bachelor's or master's degree, complete a certificate, or take just a single course through the Division of Continuing Education and Graduate Studies at Curry College. Classes run days, evenings, and weekends in Milton and Plymouth. To learn more about programs in business, criminal justice, education, nursing, and more, visit curry.edu. And to learn more about baseball, visit Stony Brook Field. That's where we are. It's 6-3. Hyannis is ahead. We're in the top of the 6th inning, and the Harbor Hawks will send the top of the order to the plate as the first pitch is low to the leadoff hitter, Reese Hampton. To start his, it's in there for a strike. It was called a strike by Jeff Kinney at the knees. So Avedano's ahead in the count. 0-1. The count on the righty. The pitch. That, too, is a strike at the knees. Hampton didn't look like he was a fan of that call either. And that makes the count 0-2 quickly on Reese Hampton. The switch hitter batting from the right side against the lefty Avedano. Hampton from Charlotte, a rising junior, and he's a Charlotte native as well, out of Charlotte Christian High School. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. It's hit high in the air, foul, left side, or right side, excuse me. 0-2 is the count. Hampton coming off a season last year as a sophomore, hit .264, got on base 33% of the time. Not a power hitter, he's only got 2 collegiate homers, but he can run as the 0-2 pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside. Kind of a crafty pitch there from Avedano to choose the breaking ball there, right, Maura?
Absolutely, and that one had a lot of movement to it. Dipped in.
1-2 pitch. It's swung on and grounded softly back to the pitcher, Avedano, and now charging to field it is Gasper, who throws to first base, not in time. Hampton ran that one out. Gasper took ownership of that play and barehanded the baseball, was not able to get it there, and Reese Hampton hustles over to first base with an infield single to lead things off in the 6th.
Now coming to the plate, wearing number 2 from Mississippi State, second baseman.
And now Hunter Stovall will dig in for the Harbor Hawks. So far in this game, there have been no walks allowed by Whitecaps pitching. The problem is they've allowed 13 hits. 10 of those were charged to the starter, Stever. And here is Stovall hitting from the right side. And the pitch. Swing and a miss at a ball in the dirt. So 0-1 the count on Stovall. Stovall goes to Mississippi State. There are 3 Mississippi State Bulldogs on this team for Hyannis, and that obviously is not a coincidence. They've got a big Mississippi State connection as they check the runner at first base, and just getting back in time is Reese Hampton. As Ron Polk is over coaching on this team. One of those guys, he doesn't really have, if you ask for his role, it's kind of, well, he's around, he's an assistant coach, he'll do what he needs to do. And he brings in great players like this, Hunter Stovall, a rising junior out of Alabama originally, but chose to go to Mississippi State. Was a catcher in high school. Kind of has the look of a catcher at the plate. But today is starting at second base, has been primarily an infielder in college. Here comes the 0-1 pitch to Stovall. And it gets away from the catcher Gasper, and that's all Hampton needs. He's charging for second base, and the throw on to second is not in time. Hampton was thinking about going anyway and was able to get a good jump on that pitch in the dirt. So we'll see how they score that exactly. But Hampton advances to second, and there's a runner in scoring position and nobody out as the Harbor Hawks are knocking on the door once again, ahead by a score of 6-3. Count is 1-1 with the runner on second. The pitch is hit hard through the left side, and it's going to get into left field for a base hit. Hampton will be held up at third base by Gassman. That was hit just too hard off the bat of Stovall. His first hit of the ball game, now 1 for 3 on his day. And it's first and third and no one out.
Number 12 from Minnesota, third baseman, Micah Coffey.
And now Micah Coffey, the 3-hitter, will dig in for Hyannis. He's a left-handed hitter. Does look like there's a right-hander warming up in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. Don't have the best look at Brewster's from our vantage point here, but we'll see. If Shevchik, this must be a tough call for Jamie Shevchik. You got a guy Avadano that's been a decent enough workhorse for your team this season. You're so short on arms, but clearly here he's in some trouble with the first and third and nobody out, and a game that's in danger of getting away from Brewster right now. Lefty to lefty pitch, a breaking ball dropped in there for strike one to Coffey. Coffey, his last time up, hit a high fly ball to right field that cleared the fence for a home run. Just got inside the foul pole. Was followed up by a dinger from Robinson, the very next hitter. 0-1 count on the lefty. Checking the runner at first and deals. Check swinging the ball in the dirt. Did he go around? They're going to appeal, but first it gets away from the catcher Gasper, and a run will come in to score. That's a wild pitch. That one bounced off of home plate, it looked like, and Hampton charges in from first base. Boy, Reese Hampton is living up to his reputation as a base runner right now. He gets an infield single, winds up advancing to second base on a pitch that squirted away from Gasper, and moves to third on the single, and then comes in to score on a wild pitch, and it's now 7-3 Hyannis. That was scored a passed ball that allowed Hampton to reach second base, so that's an unearned run as the pitch is blocked behind the plate from Gasper on a pitch in the dirt to make the count 1-2. As they did rule that Coffey went around on that pitch that got away. Don't see that too often. Stovall is aboard at second base with nobody out still here in the top of the sixth. One run already in for Hyannis. It's 7-3 Harbor Hawks. Lefty to lefty, 1-2 pitched. That's another one in the dirt, another block from Mickey Gasper, who is really earning that playing time here as the catcher right now. He's been roughed up a bunch in this sixth inning. Was charged with that one passed ball. Hard to believe this is only the third hitter of the inning. We've seen a bunch of action here. So the count even 2-2 on the lefty. Checking the runner at second is Avadano, and he deals. Breaking ball hit high in the air into the left side. It's going to get into shallow left field. Coming on to the shortstop, Graffinino. He makes the catch in shallow left for the first out of the sixth inning. So that's just what the doctor ordered for Brewster as the Harbor Hawks are unable to advance Stovall to third with the pop fly off the bat of Coffey, who now is 1 for 4 on the day with that home run. And speaking of homers, here's Daniel Robinson, who got his first home run of the year in the previous frame as well. Hyannis has scored 1 in the fourth 2 in the 5th, and 1 in the 6th. Whitecap pitching has not put up a 0 since the 3rd inning. It's again lefty to lefty. Here comes the pitch. It's in there for a strike on a fastball to make the count 1-0-1 on Robinson, whom, like Coffee, is hitless other than the home run in this game. A ground ball and a fly ball before the home run, which went over the fence in right field. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. That one just dived down away from the lefty hitter. Robinson wound up on one knee after his follow-through on that swing. So he's behind in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. And let's see if Avedano can put this batter away. Robinson, the sport management major, standing in. And they'll spin around and check the runner at second base, Will Avedano, with the count 0-2. Robinson's another one of those Northwoods League alums. A lot of those here on the Cape, which he was with the Kalamazoo Growlers last year. Hit .288 for them. Runners going for third. The pitch is swung on and missed for strike 3. The throw down to third is not in time. A stolen base for Hunter Stovall, his first of the year. After being checked on just the previous pitch. A gutsy move there to come in and steal third base, but there are 2 outs on the strikeout. The first strikeout for Avedano since he entered the game.
Number 15 from Ole Miss, first baseman, Ryan Olenek.
And now it's Ryan Olenek who will look to capitalize. The Harbor Hawks are ahead 7-3 after Hampton came around to score what would be an unearned run. And Olenek, the outfielder from Ole Miss, will dig in to the right-handed batter's box. Here comes the pitch. Swing and a miss. On below the knees, count is 0-1. Olenek is another one of those versatile players that you'll see. He was started off as a third baseman at Ole Miss, as well as an outfielder. And today is playing first. 0-1. It's a soft ground ball to second base. Dunn fields it and throws to first base, and that will finish things in the top of the 6th inning. But the Harbor Hawks add on a run. They get it on a pair of hits and may leave a runner on third base. We're through 5.5 innings of play. It's 7-3 Hyannis. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Waddiel and Maura Sheridan. Dunkin' Donuts and the Cape Cod Baseball League wants to keep players and fans running on and off the field all season long. Celebrate the summer of coffee at your local Dunkin' Donuts with their latest flavor lineup, including butter pecan, coconut cream pie, and s'mores. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. Hyannis is ahead 7-3, and there's a new pitcher to tell you about. It is Nick Sandlin, the native of Evans, Georgia, who goes to Southern Miss, who is on. He is a right-hander. He will face the 7, 8, and 9 hitters for Brewster, Dunn, Foyle, and Hill in the pitch. From another side, Armor is in there for a strike on the outside corner to Nick Dunn, who up to this point has walked and grounded into an inning-ending fielder's choice on his day. The count is 0-1 quickly on Dunn. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. Make the count 0-2. So a couple of righty sidearmers. He replaces Haney to Sandlin. The line on Haney through 2 innings. Gave up 2 hits, no runs, no walks, no Ks. Here comes the 0-2. It's a high chopper toward the middle, moving to his right and making the play. His Stovall throws across in time for the out. We've seen some nice defense from the infield. The past 4 outs that the Whitecaps have grounded into have all been ground balls. That one scored 4-3. There's 1 gone in the 6th inning. Give you the numbers on Sandlin. This is already his 6th appearance of the year on the Cape. In those appearances, he has a 3.48 ERA, thrown 10 1/3 innings pitched, 9 hits allowed, walked 4, and struck out a dozen. And here is Devin Foyle, the switch hitter batting from the left side, lifts one out to left field, and that one is going to be caught by a sliding Robinson. Did he make the play? Yes, he did for out number 2. Looked for a minute like he might have let that one slip out, but he transferred it over to the bare hand. Robinson had to contend with perhaps the wind out there, perhaps the turf, and made him slip. Kind of a strange way to approach the baseball, but it is an out as Foyle is retired. There's 2 gone. Harbor Hawks pitching has sent down 7 Whitecaps in a row. Here's Darius Hill. He takes a pitch for a strike at the knees to make the count 0-1. Hill has a ground ball and a single to his credit today. The score is 7-3 Hyannis in the bottom of the 6th inning. The 0-1 pitch to the lefty just misses below the knees to even the count up at 1-1. Brewster's 3 runs came in the bottom of the 3rd. That tied the score. It was Curry's RBI single that did that. 1-1 pitch misses way outside, going back to the backstop to make it 2-1. And since then, Hyannis has scored 4 straight runs. They got 1 in the 4th inning on an RBI single from Donovan, a pair of back-to-back homers from Coffey and Robinson in the 5th, and then a wild pitch scored Reese Hampton in inning number 6. The 2-1 pitch just misses outside corner. 3 balls, 1 strike on Hill. And Sandlin readies. Here comes the 3-1 pitch. That too misses outside for ball 4. So the first Whitecap to reach base since there were nobody out in the 4th inning is Hill, who will advance via the walk, and it's back to the top of the Brewster order and A.J. Graffinino. Graffinino has a couple of fly balls to his name and a single in the 4th. And Sandlin staring in. And he will deal the pitch. Misses outside, so Sandlin falls behind him to count 1 ball and no strikes. Sandlin had 29 appearances out of the pen for Southern Miss this spring. Did not start a game. Just a 2.38 ERA in 56 2/3 innings pitched on the mound. The 1-0 pitch misses low. And in those 56 2/3, walked 29 and struck out 80. That's a 12.7 K per 9 for Nick Sandlin. There's a number that jumps out at you. No matter what conference you're in, no matter what opponents you're playing. 2-0 pitch. That's in there for a strike on the inside corner to make the count 2-1. Seems like we've seen a sizable strike zone so far in this game from home plate up Jeff Kinney. We also have pitchers who have been trying to work the corners, so could make it seem that way. Here comes the 2-1. That one's driven in there for a strike. Nice movement on that pitch. It seems like the repertoire that we're seeing from Sandlin, maybe not quite as much velocity as what we saw from Haney, the man whom he relieved, but it's very similar approach from the side armor, as he once again tried to ride that one off the outside corner to the lefty. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. That one misses low to make the count 3-2. So with 2 outs, that will send Hill from first base. It's 7-3 Hyannis in the bottom of the 6th inning. 7-14-1 for the Harbor Hawks. 3-7-0 for Brewster. Whitecap pitching has not surrendered a walk in this game, but still 14 hits allowed. Runner going, 3-2 pitches, lifted into the left field. It's caught by the third baseman, Coffey, on a leaping play there on a little looper down the left field line. And that finishes things in the bottom of the 6th inning. For Brewster in the bottom of the 6th, they don't get a run, they don't get a hit, they do leave one runner on. We're through 6 innings of play. The score, Hyannis 7, Brewster 3. You're listening to Whitecaps Baseball on the Whitecaps Radio Network. Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps Baseball. Here are Carter Waddiel and Maura Sheridan.
Welcome back here at Stony Brook Field, where the Harbor Hawks lead the Whitecaps 7-3 here in the top of the 7th inning. Ryan Avendano still on the mound for the Whitecaps. He'll face Robert Newstrom to lead off this 7th inning. Newstrom had an RBI single today and another single in the 5th inning that went up the first base seam. First pitch from Avendana is a big breaking ball that doesn't quite hit, so that will actually, it does hit. It was such a big loop there that it's hard to tell, but it was strike number 1. So it's an 0-1 count to Newstrom. Second pitch. This one also went for a strike, paints the corner for second strike. This time a fastball from Avendano. The count is 0-2, and here's the 0-2 pitch. This one caught him looking right on the left corner. Newstrom froze up a little bit there for only the 3rd Whitecap strikeout of the day. That's the second for Ryan Avendano to retire the first batter he faces in the 7th inning.
Yeah, able to paint that outside corner to Newstrom. It's funny, we saw that breaking ball to start things off. It feels like, you know, Jamie Shevchik talking about how these pitchers need to trust their fastballs more. It seems like kind of a double-edged sword for them so far, but a nicely selected at-bat for Avendano on the mound.
Ford Proctor now up to bat for the Harbor Hawks. A fastball from Avendano right in the strike zone there for an 0-1 count to Proctor, who has 2 doubles to his name and a single today. Breaking ball doesn't quite hit for ball number 1. Nobody on here. 1 out in the top of the 7th inning. The 1-1 pitch in for strike number 2. Another breaking ball from Avendano.
Gasper really liked that one. Popped out of his crouch as soon as he collected that. Nailed the target on the breaking ball.
The 1-2. That one low in the dirt. For ball 2, it's a 2-2 even count to Ford Proctor. Proctor out of Texas. Plays for Rice University, one of 2 Owls on this squad. The 2-2 pitch is fouled off the third base line, high and out into the trees. So Proctor will stay alive, trying to get his 4th hit of the day. Still a 2-2 count. Avendano ready for the 2-2 pitch, and that one paints the corner the same way as before to strike out another batter looking 2 strikeouts in a row for Ryan Avendano to start out this 7th inning, and nobody on.
Looks like that corner, the outside corner to lefties, the inside corner to righties, has been given a little bit of a benefit of a doubt from Jeff Kinney behind the plate in this game. Taking advantage twice in a row there was Avendano.
Now Dominic DiCaprio up to bat for the Harbor Hawks. First pitch from Avendano, a breaking ball in for strike number 1. It's an 0-1 count to the catcher for the Harbor Hawks. DiCaprio struck out already today, and he'll swing and miss on the second pitch from Avendano to make an 0-2 count. DiCaprio's strikeout was the only one Jonathan Stever had today for Brewster. The Whitecaps trail the Harbor Hawks 7-3 here in the top of the 7th inning. Next pitch is high and outside for ball 1. 1 ball, 2 strikes from Ryan Avendano, the relief pitcher for the Whitecaps today. The 1-2. Swung on and missed. So Ryan Avendano strikes out the side here in the top of the 7th inning, but his team's still down 7-3. The Whitecaps trail the Harbor Hawks. You're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
Welcome back to Brewster, Mass, where the Hyannis Harbor Hawks are on top of the Brewster Whitecaps 7-3 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Connor Smith in the number 2 spot up to bat for the Whitecaps. First pitch to him. It's a breaking ball in for a strike. An 0-1 to Connor Smith to start out this 7th inning for the Whitecaps. Second pitch, another breaking ball. Almost the same pitch there in for strike 2. Connor Smith, he's down in the count. Smith has gotten on in a single today. Next pitch to Smith is a breaking ball that comes very fast towards us, towards the scouts. But good thing there's a nice fence here. Everybody kind of jumped a little bit, but that one's in for ball 2, so it's a 1-2. Third pitch, another ball, a breaking ball to Connor Smith, evens the count at 2. As I was saying, Smith came home to score a run for the Whitecaps, but his team down 7-3 right now, and a swing and a miss from Connor Smith, and he'll strike out. Sandlin gets a strikeout to start this inning for the Harbor Hawks.
He gets that one swinging there for Connor Smith. following up a terrific day yesterday with a 1-for-3 day today.
And that is the first strikeout for any of the Harbor Hawks today. We've seen 3 pitchers, and they've only let in 3 runs, but no strikeouts here, just a lot of ground outs, pop-ups to get the Whitecaps out. Next up, Mickey Gasper for the Whitecaps, and he'll take a strike for his first pitch. Gasper had a ground out to second in the first inning. In the third, he had a single, and then he came home off of a Hunter Bishop hit. And then his last at bat in the fourth inning was a pop-up to shortstop. Gasper getting set in the batter's box, calls time, and here's the pitch. That one's low and out for ball 1. It's a 2-1 count to Mickey Gasper. And here comes the 2-1. The next pitch is a fastball that just misses on the outside corner for a ball 3. Still nobody on for the Whitecaps. There is 1 out here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Mickey Gasper waiting on the 3-1, and he'll take it for a walk for Mickey Gasper.
Nice triumphant flip of the baseball bat over down toward the dugout. It really does seem like Mickey Gasper enjoys drawing walks like that, showing off his plate discipline.
Speaking of someone that's drawing walks today is Zach Gahagan. He has 2 on the day, and he's up to bat for the Whitecaps. Mickey Gasper at first. Sandlin setting up on the mound. First pitch to Gahagan is low, but in for strike 1. Gahagan kind of jumped out, but that breaking ball able to swoop back in for strike number 1. Gahagan came home in his second walk. Score the Whitecaps' 3rd and final run that they've scored so far today. Second pitch to Gahagan is another breaking ball in for ball 2, strike 2. So it's an 0-2 count. Sandlin getting ahead early on these Whitecaps players. He already has 1 strikeout. He struck out Connor Smith to start this inning. 0-2 on its way, and a swing and a miss from Gahagan on a nice breaking ball there from Sandlin. That's 2 strikeouts in this inning alone for Sandlin. And now 2 outs here with a runner on first in the bottom of the 7th inning.
Looks like the Whitecaps have not been able to quite adjust to Sandlin's stuff. It's not all that different from what we saw from Haney, but there are some little intricacies in there as we saw Smith get fooled and Gahagan, of course, Gasper was able to just work the walk.
First pitch to Hunter Bishop is low and out for ball 1. Bishop does have an RBI single today, as I mentioned before, brought in Mickey Gasper. And Mickey Gasper's at first right now, the only base runner for the Whitecaps here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Harbor Hawks up 4 runs here. Second pitch in for ball 2 to Hunter Bishop. Besides the RBI single, Bishop has grounded out twice today. One was a double play to shortstop, and the second was just a ground out second for the second out, and he'll take strike number 1 here on a fastball from Sandlin. The Whitecaps have a ways to go if they want to make it 3 in a row here at Stony Brook Field. It'd be the first time this season the Whitecaps have done that. The 2-1 pitch to Bishop is low and out on the right corner, so that's a 3 balls and 1 strike to the center fielder. Sandlin swiveling his head towards first, but he'll have the 3-1 pitch ready to go in for a strike to Hunter Bishop right on the outside corner. Nice fastball there from Sandlin to make the count full. Bishop getting set in the batter's box. And the 3-2 is low and out. Bishop knew that one was outside right as it came in, so he'll go to first with a walk. And here comes Michael Curry, the designated hitter for the Whitecaps, with runners on first and second, but 2 outs in this bottom of the 7th inning.
Yeah, that outside corner to lefties has really been an adventure today. Those looked like the pitch that was called for strike 2 and the pitch that was called for ball 3, or rather ball 4, were the same pitch coming in from Sandlin, that pitch that was trying to backdoor him. And give credit to the catcher, DiCaprio, for framing the first pitch very well, pulling it back into the zone.
And Hunter Bishop also sold that pretty well. Just threw his bat right away. Didn't want any questions asked. First pitch to Curry in for strike 1, a breaking ball from Sandlin. We saw a lot of fastballs from Crawford, and then Haney and Sandlin. They like the breaking ball. Curry fouls his second pitch. Out right behind him into the netting. So that puts him down in the count 0-2 here. With runners on first and second, the Whitecaps really need to step it up offensively if they want to make this a game. They're down 4 runs here, and time's running out. It's the bottom of the 7th inning. 0-2. That one's high and outside for ball number 1 from Sandlin. Curry got on an error in the 2nd inning and does have an RBI single to his name. Knocked home Zach Cahagan. 4th pitch to Curry is a breaking ball that hits the dirt for ball 2. Evens the count at 2. 2 outs, 2 runners on for the Whitecaps. Sandlin, this could be a big out for him. Getting ready for the 2-2. Here it comes. And that is swung on by Curry right to the first baseman, Olenek, who just jogs it over to first, and that will end the 7th inning here in Brewster, Massachusetts. The Whitecaps leave 2 on. They're still down 7-3 after 7 innings of play. You're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
Ryan Avendano still at the mound for the Brewster Whitecaps. This is his 4th inning out there. He'll face Brendan Donovan to start out this 8th inning. First pitch, a breaking ball, misses outside. So it's a 1-0 count to the 9 batter in this Harbor Hawks lineup. The 1-0. That one's in for a strike. Paints the left corner there for strike number 1. Avendano struck out 1, 2, 3. The 3 batters he faced. as he throws a breaking ball for ball 2 to Brendan Donovan. In the 7th inning, struck out all 3 batters he faced at Avendano. Looking to do the same here, but he's behind in the count. A little foul tip there off a breaking ball from Avendano, so the count's even at 2 here in the top of the 8th inning. Here comes the 2-2. That one's low and outside for ball 3, so it's a full count to start off this 8th inning. Donovan teammates with Travis Swaggerty. Swaggerty, a couple of cuts away from being on Team USA, was a Brewster Whitecap, and that next pitch from Avendano, a fastball that just misses outside, moves Donovan to first base.
And you have to give Avendano a ton of credit here for coming in and eating up some innings for Brewster. No matter how this game ends with the Whitecaps still trailing by 4, he came in after Stever gave up back-to-back homers in the 5th inning. And since then, he's given up, he scattered a few hits around, but just the 1 run allowed in these 3 innings of work for Avendano, and he's given the rest of the bullpen a rest, which is really valuable for this club.
That was the first walk from Avendano today, and first pitch in to Reese Hampton for strike number 1. Hampton has 2 hits today. The first in the 3rd, single to left field. In the 2nd, a single, then he stole second. Second pitch in for a ball, so it's a 1-1. And then he came home, did Hampton, off a wild pitch from Avendano. He was the last guy to score in this game. The Harbor Hawks on top of Whitecap 7-3. Shows bunt there. And Hampton goes for it, so that'll be strike 2. Looks like he might have got a piece of it, or it just hit his foot. Anyway, it is strike 2, so it's a 1-2 count to the leadoff hitter for the Harbor Hawks. Runner on first. Nobody out here in the top of the 8th inning. Avendano looking over to first, but the 1-2 pitch on its way, and that one's hit right to A.J. Graffinino at short. He'll throw it over to Dunn and over to Gahagan. So that's a double play there. 6-4-3 double play for the Whitecaps. Quickly makes it 2 outs and knocks out Donovan and Hampton there to start out this 8th inning.
That was a tailor-made double play ball for Graffinino at shortstop. A little one-hopper. And obviously, now the tough guy to double up is Reese Hampton. I mean, he's already put on a show with his wheels in this ball game. But a terrific play by Graffinino to get the quick hands, get it over to Dunn at second, and may turn to 6-4-3.
Hunter Stovall now at the batter's box for the Harbor Hawks. First pitch to him is outside for ball 1. That double play left nobody on for the number 2 hitter in this Harbor Hawks lineup, and he'll hit the second pitch high. This one over the fence in left field. That's a 4-bagger. Devin Foyle and Hunter Bishop both moved in on it and just popped over the fence. So that's the 3rd home run for the Harbor Hawks today to make this an 8-3 game. This game quickly getting out of reach for the Whitecaps.
And that's the first extra base hit of the season for Hunter Stovall, so I'm not sure if I've seen that before. 3 home runs in the game by a team, and all 3 of them were the first home run of the season for each player. I know it's still a little early in the Cape League season, but for 3 debut home runs, if you will, that's still pretty surprising.
So that home run makes it 8-3 here in the top of the 8th inning. Avendano now facing up against Kofi, who has a home run to his name today also. So the 2, 3, and 4 batters in this Harbor Hawks lineup all go yard today. It's a 1-1 count to Kofi, third baseman. Avendano paints the corner there on the next pitch. That one on the left side in for strike 2.
Coming into this game, Hyannis only had 3 home runs all year. They've doubled their total in 1 game.
The 1-2 pitch by Avendano Misses on the outside corner, just a couple inches from what was called a strike a couple seconds ago. So it's a 2-2 even count. 2 outs, nobody on for Kofi. The 2-2. Swung on and fouled right behind him into the netting. So he stays alive. The Harbor Hawks again up 8-3 on the Whitecaps. They have 15 hits today. The Whitecaps only have 7. Lavandano with the 2-2. Swung on and fouled right to the back fencing. Again, staying alive, Micah Coffey with 2 fouls in a row. Avendano reaching 70 pitches today. Coming in relief for Jonathan Stever, the 2-2 from Avendano. That's a breaking ball. Just misses for a full count now to the number 3 hitter in this Harbor Hawks lineup. Avendano getting set. And the 3-2 on its way, and it is bounced off of Mickey Gasper's cleat, it looks like, and that one will go right behind him. So again, Kofi staying alive here, making this a little bit of a battle from the number 3 hitter after his teammate just went yard. The 3-2. Swung on and hit over Avendano's head over to Graffinino, who will field it over to Gahagan and end this inning. But there was a home run in this inning that made it 8-3. So the Whitecaps still trail the Harbor Hawks 8-3. We're going into the bottom of the 8th inning. You're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
Welcome back to Stony Brook Field. It's the bottom of the 8th inning. We've got a new pitcher to tell you about, Connor Green, taking the mound for the Harbor Hawks. Wears number 24 out of Ole Miss. Has a 5.40 ERA so far. Pitched 8 1/3 innings. Allowed 8 hits in that, 7 runs. Only 5 earned runs there. struck out 9, and walked 7. So Connor Green will face
Nope.
Nick Dunn.
It's Ryan Weiss.
Ri-
That's my fault. I'm gonna take the blame for that. Gave you the bad info. Thought we had 24 and it's 20. So it's Weiss out of Wright State.
Well, you just learned a lot about Connor Green in case
In
we
case he
ever
comes in
face
later.
Connor Green or ever hear about him. But yes, this is Ryan Weiss, the 6'4" pitcher out of Wright State. His first 2 pitches made the count 1-1, but then Nick Dunn just fouled off the last pitch for a 1-2 count.
And that's all me. I don't want Maura to take any of the blame for that. That's 100% my fault.
It's getting dark out here, a little tough to see, I guess. We're both a little blind. Both wear contacts and glasses, and Nick Dunn just struck out there. To start off this inning, so Ryan Weiss starts out the inning with a strikeout to Nick Dunn.
The line on Sandlin, whom I'm pretty sure was pitching 2 innings pitched, no hits allowed, but he did walk 3 batters, no runs given up, and 2 Ks.
Devin Foyle, the left fielder, takes the batter's box for the Whitecaps. First pitch from Weiss, low and outside for ball 1. Foyle singled today, but then had 2 fly balls, both to left field. The 1-0 swung on and missed by Devin Foyle to even the count at 1. Still nobody on. Nick Dunn just struck out swinging. Start this 8th inning at bat for the Whitecaps. Devin Foyle, looks like a little bit of a check swing there from him, so that will make it a 1-2 count to the left fielder, whereas number 27. Whitecaps in their red uniforms because it's Red Uniform Friday, and a swing and a miss there gets Foyle, and that's 2 strikeouts in a row for Ryan Weiss.
Just ran that fastball up. Definitely different than the out pitch that we saw from both Haney and Sandlin. Both of those guys liked the backdoor breaking ball when they were ahead in the count. And Sandlin just says, here's my fastball, try and hit it, and Foyle was unable to.
Darius Hill batting in the 9th spot today for the Whitecaps. He'll enter the game with 2 outs, nobody on. First pitch to him is in for a strike.
I went in there at 93 on the guns in front of us.
So it's an 0-1 count to Darius Hill. The 0-1, low and outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Darius Hill. He has a single today. And he'll hit one right up the first base seam in between first and second baseman, and he'll get a base hit. So that's 2 base hits on the day for Darius Hill. He also walked today.
That's a good piece of hitting from Hill. Weiss mixed in a curveball there that wound up breaking down and into the lefty, and he just was able to whack it over to the right side. Usually Weiss is a guy who likes to just give you his hard stuff and fill up the zone like I was talking about. Mixed it up there and paid the price.
So 2 outs, and Darius Hill now on for the leadoff hitter, A.J. Graffinino. He had this same situation in the 6th inning, but Graffinino popped up to end that inning. First pitch of Graffinino low, but in for a strike, so it's an 0-1 count. Ryan Weiss with the 0-1, a swing and a miss there from A.J. Graffinino. So it's an 0-2. The Whitecaps need a lot of offense here if they want to make a comeback. They're down 8-3 to the Harbor Hawks here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Third pitch is low and outside for the first ball that A.J. Graffinino's seen from Ryan Weiss. So it's a 1-2. Graffinino only has 1 hit today. The rest have been pop-ups. One to center field, one to right. One right to the third baseman, Kofi. Graffinino finds the same seam that Darius Hill did, and he'll get into first, and Hill running all the way to third. So Graffinino makes it to first. Hill now at third base, so runners on the corners for the Whitecaps with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Connor Smith up to bat.
And Hill was breaking for second base when Graffinino took his hack, so pretty easy for him to get over to third. So this late in the game now, with 2 men out, obviously Connor Smith has been done a good job of getting on base and keeping the line moving so far, and that's his job because Gasper is on deck. And obviously, no such thing as a 5-run homer, but a big hit from Gasper could go a long way here.
First pitch to Connor Smith sends Graffinino running. It's blocked by DiCaprio, but bounces off the third base, so Graffinino able to make it into second safely. No issue there. So now 2 runners in scoring position for Connor Smith.
You got to admire Graffinino's tenacity on the base paths. He went for it immediately. He is not someone who is afraid to take risks when he is running, and got there with plenty of time.
The 1-0. Swung on and fouled off the first base netting over there in front of the Harbor Hawks dugout. The count evens at 1. Weiss getting set up for the 1-1. Here it comes, and Connor Smith will hit one right to the center fielder. He had to kind of backhand it and move, but that leaves 2 runners on here for the Whitecaps in the bottom of the 8th inning. We're through 8 innings, and the Harbor Hawks are still on top of the Whitecaps 8-3. You're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
Welcome back. It's the top of the 9th inning. Final inning of this game here at Stony Brook Field, barring some kind of miraculous comeback. The Harbor Hawks up to bat. Ryan Avendano still at the mound for the Whitecaps. The Harbor Hawks looking to extend their lead. They're up 5 runs on the Whitecaps here in the top of the 9th inning. Swing and a miss on the second pitch on a breaking ball from Ryan Avendano, so the count's 0-2 to Daniel Robinson. Robinson homered today, one of 3 Harbor Hawks to do so. Swing and a miss there, or swing and fouled off, excuse me. So that keeps him alive. Counts 0-2. Nobody on here in the top of the 9th inning. The 0-2. Breaking ball that misses outside. Counts 1-2 to the number 4 hitter. Left fielder. Besides a home run, hasn't had a hit today. Struck out in his last at-bat. The 1-2 is just outside, a fastball missing again for Avendano, so it's a 2-2 to Robinson. Robinson batted .305 Central Michigan this year, 39 RBIs. And takes another ball there from Ryan Avendano, this one low in the dirt, to make the count full here in the first at bat of the 9th inning. Robinson also only had 1 home run this year in Central Michigan, but we saw him homer today. And he'll hit the next pitch right to first baseman Gahagan. Avendano running in, trying to make the play, and it looks like he will be safe. Daniel Robinson beating out Avendano. He'll stay on first. Avendano just doesn't quite have the wheels that Daniel Robinson does. Robinson stole 22 bases at Central Michigan this year, so that he can run, and Avendano, 6'7" pitcher, not quite the same speed there.
And doing that slide into first base, which logically doesn't make a lot of sense, but able to get the dive there. I mean, when you're trying to win a foot race with the guy, wouldn't you want to stay on your feet? But Robinson is able to slide it. Hey, who am I to critique the guy who, as you said, had over 20 stolen bases and was able to get the infield single?
Ryan Olenek up to bat for the Harbor Hawks. He'll foul his first pitch he sees from Avendano into the netting behind him. So he has 1 runner on here, nobody out. Olenek has 2 doubles today in his first 2 at-bats, and then his last 2 at-bats have been a ground out to first and then a ground out to second. Started off very hot, did Olenek. Avendano thinks about checking up at Robinson, but decides otherwise and kind of collects himself back on the mound. Still waiting for the 0-1. Here it comes. And that one's low and outside for ball number 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to Olenek. Olenek digging in. He's from Winter Park, Florida. Goes to Ole Miss. Avendano with the 1-1. And Olenek ropes one, but that one goes foul on the third base line. A hard hit ball there from Olenek, but couldn't keep it fair. So it's a 1-2 count to the Trinity Prep grad, rising junior. Avendano getting set on the mound. Waiting for the 1-2. His team trails 5 runs here. And Olenek will hit one right to Gahagan, who throws it over to Dunn at second. Back to Gahagan at first. And it looks like Olenek is safe at first, but they're able to get the runner moving to second. Daniel Robinson out for the first out of the inning.
Boy, was that a close play at first base. Just was able to get there with the fielder's choice was Olenek. He's had a couple of hustle plays in this game.
So with 1 out here and a runner on first, Robert Newstrom up to bat for the Harbor Hawks. Last time he faced Avendano in the 7th inning, he struck out, 1 of 3 to do so in that inning. First pitch is in for a swing and a miss from Newstrom, right fielder. It's an 0-1 count. Again, top of the 9th inning. Newstrom calls time, wants to collect himself in the box. Home plate Kinney signaling for Avendano to wait a couple of seconds, and the 0-1 pitch on its way. Here it comes, and that one's swung on and fouled right to Dominic DiCaprio, who's right in the dugout there for the Harbor Hawks. Newstrom collecting himself, takes a big breath. Not a lot of pressure for him, though, right now. His team's up 5 runs in the top of the 9th inning. Avendano checks up on Olenek at first. Olenek returns to the bag, no issue. It's an 0-2 count. The number 30 for Hyannis. Avendano with the pitch and swung on and missed. He got Newstrom on a breaking ball, a low breaking ball there. So he struck out Newstrom twice today, and that's out number 2 in this top of the 9th inning.
Really has been a great performance from Avendano. Has surrendered 6 hits in his now 8 2/3, or excuse me here, entered the game in the 5th inning. So 4 2/3 innings of work, but just the 1 earned run allowed on the home run.
Runner on first, and here comes Ford Proctor for the Harbor Hawks. First pitch by Avendano, low in the dirt on the left corner there to Proctor, so a 1-0 count on the shortstop for the Harbor Hawks. 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning. Avendano entered the game, this team down 6-3. Proctor calls time there. Takes a couple practice swings, and he'll return to the batter's box. Dominic DiCaprio on deck. And here comes the 1-0. That one's in for a strike from Avendano to even the count at 1. Again, his team trails 5 runs. It's 8-3 here in Brewster, Mass. As it's getting a little darker here. The wind picking up, a little chilly. The 1-1 in for ball 2. That one just misses low and out, so it's a 2-1 count. Proctor digging in. He has 2 doubles today and a single, but again, he struck out one of Avendano's 3 in that 7th inning. 4th pitch from Avendano is, again, low and out. This one, Gasper had to kind of lunge for, so it's a 3-1 count. Proctor ahead.
I wonder if we'll ever see a game here at Stony Brook Field where the wind is not blowing out to either straightaway center or left field. It's gusting out there again right now.
3-1. Swung on and hit right to Gahagan, but that one goes foul. Gahagan tried to fool the ump there and pick it up and step on first, but that one way foul there. So Proctor's still alive. Count is full now. 3-2. Olenek on first. 2 outs here in the top of the 9th inning. The Whitecaps trying to go into the 8th with the same, go into the bottom of the 9th with the same score they entered the 9th with. Here comes the full count pitch, swung on and missed, and he'll get him. Ryan Avendano strikes out his last 2 batters to end this 9th inning and his time at the mound tonight. The Whitecaps trail 8-3 going into the bottom of the 9th. One last chance for Brewster here. You're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Now, back to Brewster Whitecaps baseball. Here are Carter Wadil and Maura Sheridan.
Well, the scoreboard here at Stony Brook Field is flashing rally time. That's exactly what the Whitecaps will need if they want to make a comeback. They're down 8-3. It's the bottom of the ninth. Last chance. And Mickey Gasper up to bat for Brewster. First pitch from Weiss to Gasper is in for strike number 1. Second pitch, 0-1 pitch. That's a 78-mile-an-hour breaking ball in for strike number 2. Mickey Gasper has a single today. He did come home. And also has a walk to his name. The rest are pop-ups.
So far in his appearance, Weiss has done a good job using that curveball to set up the fastball. The curveball is such a slow bender that he can have some deceptive speed with that low 90s heater.
The 1-2 to Mickey Gasper outside. In for ball 2, so it's a 2-2 even count to Mickey Gasper. Again, nobody on here in the bottom of the 9th inning. It's 8-3 Harbor Hawks, and Mickey Gasper will rope one to right center, and it will drop in for a base hit to start out the bottom of the 9th and a potential Brewster Whitecaps comeback.
Well, if you're going to have a 5-run rally, you got to get the leadoff runner on, and that's what Gasper did. Kind of the goal here for Brewster has got to be to get the tying run to the plate. Now, if the next 3 hitters can get on, they'll do that. It would bring up Nick Dunn as the tying run.
A lot of ifs here, though, but Zach Gahagan enters for the Whitecaps with Mickey Gasper on first. First pitch from Weiss will hit him right in the side. Gahagan goes down. That hit Gahagan very hard, and Gahagan's slow to get up, but he'll tough it out. We're hearing Jamie Shevchik telling him to stay here. A lot of claps here. Gahagan walking it off, but they're just going to probably take precautionary measures with this one. Gahagan meeting with the trainer, so we'll probably take a quick break here. Looks like Gahagan is going to actually come out of the game. That one's gonna leave a mark, I'm gonna assume. Hit him right in the side. He went down, slow to get up, but he'll walk off just fine. Meeting with the trainers, looks like he's fine. So Zach Gahagan will have a pitch runner after getting hit by a pitch here. So runners on first and second for the Whitecaps. Looks like Christian Molfetta is going to enter the game to run for Gahagan. Again, who just got hit very hard by a pitch. And as much as you don't like to see that, it does lead to runners on first and second, nobody out for Hunter Bishop here.
Yeah, that's a good way to phrase it there, Moore. It looks like Gahagan was already, he was walking off under his own power. Not sure, obviously we couldn't get a great look at it from where we were behind home plate, but hit him in the upper body.
First pitch to Hunter Bishop yet to come. Again, runners on first and second. The Whitecaps in desperate need of a huge inning here because it's the last one, bottom of the 9th. They're down 5 runs. Swing and a miss from Bishop on the first pitch from Weiss. It's an 0-1 count to the sophomore from Arizona State. Bishop has an RBI single today. He's also walked 1 for 4, on the day. It's a 1-1 full count, even count to Hunter Bishop. Weiss swiveling his head, looking at Gasper at second, and Bishop will hit one right to the second baseman, who will throw out Molfetta and Bishop. So that's a 2-5. That's a quick double play there for the Harbor Hawks, and that's 2 outs in what could have been a potential rally. You had 2 runners on, and now quickly you have 2 outs and no runners on.
A gorgeous double play turn by Stovall over at second. Flipped it over with the bare hand over to the shortstop Proctor and over to Olenek to complete the 4-6-3 DP. Terrific.
Michael Curry now up to bat with
That
no runners on.
It's Cesar Trejo pinch hitting.
Cesar Trejo fouls off his first pitch for an 0-1 count, 2 outs to him. Trejo fouls out another pitch, so it's an 0-2 to Trejo, 2 outs. And the Harbor Hawks 1 strike away from ending this game with an 8-3 win. The 0-2. High and outside for Cesar Trejo, so he'll stay alive. Ball 1 to him, 1 ball, 2 strikes in the bottom of the 9th inning. The 1-2, that one low in the dirt for ball 2, so just like that, it's an even count to Cesar Trejo, the temporary player out of UNC Greensboro.
Double plays have been big for Hyannis in this game. That was the 3rd one they've had.
A breaking ball just misses on the outside corner for ball 3. So it's a 3-2 count to Cesar Trejo. The Whitecaps looking to get a runner on after a double play, and Trejo will foul one out this time over to the bleachers on the right side. Stays alive here. Again, full count. The 3-2. Swung on and fouled yet again. This time hits the netting behind him. So Trejo really making Weiss work for this potential final out of the game. Trejo kicking in the dirt, getting set up. The umpires getting some balls from the ball boys. Everybody getting set up here. Nick Dunn on deck. Trejo can get on here. It's a full count. Here comes the pitch, and that's swung on and missed by Cesar Trejo, and that will end the game. The Whitecaps cannot make it 3 in a row. They will fall 8-3 to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. 16 hits allowed by the Whitecaps. Jonathan Stever and Ryan Avendano on the mound for the Whitecaps. Avendano entered the game with his team down 6-3, so he only allowed 2 runs, but 3 home runs from the Harbor Hawks really is what kind of made this game out of reach for the Whitecaps. Again, 16 hits allowed. We'll step aside and we'll have a couple of post-game interviews with a player, and of course, as always, Jamie Shevchik. Stay with us for our post-game show. You're listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.
Don't go anywhere. The Whitecaps post-game show is coming up right after this.
That was huge for us. It's huge for the momentum going into tomorrow.
Only on the Brewster Whitecaps Radio Network.
Welcome back to Stony Brook Field. The Whitecaps just fell to the Harbor Hawks, 8-3 here at home. And our own Aiden Doyle has Zach Gahagan, who was just hit by a pitch. I'm sure we'll hear what happened to him. Down to you, Aiden.
Thanks, Maura. Here with Zach Hagan. Zach, obviously you're coming in, kind of a late addition to this Whitecaps team, and you've already played for them, but today still not a very friendly introduction. You took that fastball off the rib cage in your last plate appearance. One, how are you feeling?
Actually, it was my jaw, but I'm actually doing all right. Kind of stunned me to begin with, but I was ready to go to first, but Chev, it didn't mean anything, so he just took me out. But yeah, I was expecting a fastball, and I got it right in the face. So any way you can get on base in that situation is helpful.
Well, we're glad to hear you're all right, of course. But Chev has talked a lot about you coming in, being a leader for this team. And after the game, obviously talking about you're in the middle of a long stretch here, still have a long ways to go. How can you, as the veteran presence, the second-year Whitecap, continue to pick these guys up and, you know, lead them on their way throughout the season?
Yeah, I think it helps that I've been here since I was here last year. And when I made my decision to come back, I knew I had to take on that role. And it's a totally different team, and you just got to be vocal and be friendly with the guys and know each guy and know what you can and cannot say. But this is a good group, and I'm excited to see what happens down the stretch.
And Coach Shevchik obviously pointed out that the next 3 games against divisional opponents, you having been here before, how big are those games moving forward? He said, you know, we're not even in July yet, so we still got a long way to go, but they do have a feeling like they are bigger games.
Yeah, they're big games. I mean, any division game's big, and when you pitch and play defense, that's usually what happens. You'll pull out a win, but today we kind of came out slow, and they jumped on us, but we just got to be better and come here tomorrow and be ready to swing it and field it and pitch it.
All right, thanks a lot, Zach.
Thanks, Aiden. Well, it was a hard angle for us to see, but it sounds like he took it right in the jaw. Zach Hagan hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. Luckily, he's fine. He's talking now, so hopefully the jaw's okay, but
How's that for a line, right? I was expecting a fastball, and I got it right in the face.
And then he says, but however you can get on base. I mean, not many people have that kind of attitude about getting hit in the jaw with a baseball, but as Coach Shevchik always raves, he is a team player. I really like the line about him saying you got to get to know each player and what they can and can't handle. Some guys, you know, like heavy criticism, they can handle that. Other guys need support. You know, that's the sign of a leader, having that kind of attitude. But Gahagan and the Whitecaps cannot pull out the win today. They fall 8-3. Gave up a lot of hits, as we're going to talk about here, 16 to be exact. Jonathan Stever came in, started the game, his first start of the year. 6 runs allowed, 10 hits on the day, including 2 homers. Didn't walk anybody and struck out 1. What do you see from him, Carter, that, you know, he could improve on?
Yeah, I think Stever, you know, we were talking about just giving up a lot of hard contact. And it's tough, you know, it seems like such a simple thing to say, hey, maybe don't throw as many strikes. But for a guy whose his MO at Indiana has been to pound the strike zone and to fool hitters by changing speeds but still throwing things for strike, and it's worked very well for him. He had a good season for the Hoosiers this past spring, so it's hard to tell a guy to kind of change the way that he approaches hitters. And I think, you know, for Stever, he's had an up and down year. When he's able to fool hitters and change speeds and maybe work the corners a little bit more, he's been a very tough pitcher to hit. And today, unfortunately for him, he just wasn't able to kind of fool Hyannis very much at the plate and gave up a lot of hard contact. But I'm sure, you know, with this team that needs arm, Jamie Shevchik will be trotting him out there again, whether it's as a reliever or as a starter. We'll see. But he's definitely got a blueprint to come in and be a very solid pitcher in the Cape League.
And then in relief, Ryan Navendano came in for the Whitecaps. He only allowed 2 runs, only 1 earned. 1 run came across the plate over a wild pitch. He did have 6 hits, but struck out 6 guys. What do you see from him, that kind of the shining star in today's game, if you could say that?
Yeah, he did a real service to his team. You know, this has been, obviously yesterday, Will Tribuker was the starter for Brewster, and he came in, and Jamie Shevchik, you know, we were talking to him before the game, kind of said he would really wanted to get some length out of him, and Tribuker just didn't have his best stuff and wasn't able to get the length that maybe Brewster would have wanted at the beginning of the game. And here Stever, again, just wasn't quite on it, goes 4+, gives up the 2 homers in the 5th, and then Colin Avadano, and he eats up the final 4 innings. Scattered 6 hits allowed, only gave up a pair of runs, and only one of them was Durham. The other one had a pass ball that helped it along. So for Avedano, he's not going to get a win in the box score. It's not going to be, it's going to be okay for his ERA, but for the team as a whole, looking ahead to where the starting rotation, as Chev put it before the game, gets closer to normal in these next couple of home games, that's a very important outing for him. It really is going to have, every game in baseball, it's interconnected, right? Especially with how you use your pitchers. And I think a couple of games down the line, Brewster will be happy that Avedano was able to have the outing that he had tonight.
Connor Higgins getting the start tomorrow. And the first day of July here this summer going by very, very fast. So they will take on the YD Red Sox at home again. That game at 5 o'clock. But for now, the Whitecaps dropped to 8-7 on the year. The Harbor Hawks moved to 7-8. Opposite records there. Chase Haney got the win for the Harbor Hawks. A side armor, him and Sandlin coming in and just really the Whitecaps struggling to hit off of them. Those two side armors after we saw Crawford, who was just throwing fastballs almost every time, and then you see two side armors with a lot of breaking stuff. So an interesting matchup there, and then obviously to finish the game was Weiss, another guy who was throwing a lot of fastballs. So just kind of tough for the hitters of the Whitecaps to make anything happen here. Once again, the final score was 8-3. The Hyannis Harbor Hawks beat the Brewster Whitecaps, and it looks like head coach Jamie Shevchik is going to come over and talk to our own Aiden Doyle, as always. Shevchik. His team could not pull out the win today. It's the first loss in the last 3 days. And we'll send it down to Aiden with head coach Jamie Shevchik.
Thanks, Maura. Here with Coach Shevchik. Today, Coach, 12 men left on base. That seems to be a problem for this team. It seemed like it had gone away for a few days, though again today, double-digit men left on base, and obviously outscored 8-3. What do you think contributed to that issue today?
There was some pressure put on us. Our starter, kind of got us in a hole a little bit. We fought our way back to tie it, but it was, we were just constantly in a hole. We had opportunities to score runs and just couldn't capitalize. It felt like we were fighting an uphill battle today. It really felt that way. We felt a little lethargic, it looked like, our guys. And I don't know if it's, the long stretch of games is getting to them a little bit, cutting out early work tomorrow to kind of regroup. But, we're not even into July yet, and well, tomorrow, but we're not in July yet, and we still got a long way to go. So fighting through all of that stuff is going to be, I think is going to be a challenge.
16 hits allowed by the pitching staff on the scoreboard, though 10 of them by Jonathan Stever, who you mentioned got the start today. Didn't exactly pitch his best. You say he throws a lot of strikes, sometimes too many strikes, and it seemed like that was the case out there today. Yeah,
he was around the zone. It's easy for the most challenging hitters are guys like Higgins, who's he throws hard and he's all over the zone. And that's a hard guy to hit. Hitters are very comfortable in the box against Stever, and I think what he needs to do is he needs to learn how to locate some of those pitches when he gets ahead of the count outside of the strike zone, get guys to chase a little bit. So it's something he's going to have to work on.
You talked to the team after the game, talking about these next 3 games coming up as we move into July. Divisional games, big games. YD Red Sox tomorrow here at Stony Brook Field. Joe Molatier getting the start. What are you looking for from Molatier as well as the rest of your team? Because, like you mentioned, these are big games as we start getting deeper into the season.
I think tomorrow, Joe has kept us in games, and I think he'll keep us in games tomorrow. In the game tomorrow, it's going to come down to, can we feel the baseball? Can we keep our head above water? And is our offense are we going to come up with the timely hits when we have to? And we didn't do that today. We get guys on base. We've got to score runs.
And last question, you talked before the game to the team about communicating more, participating is the word that Coach Weber used, out on the field, making smarter baseball plays, just having that communication with the teammates out on the field. Did you see any more of that today, or was it more of the same?
There was a little bit of that today. There wasn't a whole lot of opportunities to communicate today, but we did see a little bit of a change, and that's something that's going to have to just keep getting better and better. Guys chatter in the dugout. Everybody wants to hit, but defensively is where we've been lacking and where it's been hurting us a little bit. So guys have to communicate out there as well.
All right, thank you very much, Coach.
Thanks, Aiden. As always, thanks to head coach Jamie Shevchik. And as he mentioned, the Whitecaps that was the 12th game of a 17-game streak here with no breaks. They still have 5 more games until they'll get a day off. Their next day off, barring any sort of weather incident, is July 6th, which, you know, it is the summer and it is the Cape, so who knows with that one. But for now, July 6th is the next day they get off, so it is a tough stretch for them. He's mentioned before that sometimes they'll just go through lulls, but tomorrow they are at home once again at 5 o'clock against the Whitey Red Sox. As you remember, last time these two teams met up, it was the lone tie for the Whitecaps this season. That game ended up being a 7-7 draw. So we'll catch you right here on the Whitecaps Radio Network.
We're on TV tomorrow.
Oh, we are on TV
Got
tomorrow.
TV. Live pictures.
Yes, live pictures. So very exciting. You can catch us on our live stream along with Lower Cape TV, so you can see our beautiful faces tomorrow if you so please. So tune into that on Lower Cape TV. Whitey Red Sox versus Brewster Whitecaps at home at Stony Brook Field at 5 o'clock. But for now, thanks for listening to the Whitecaps Radio Network.